Hey, Cowboys Nation, welcome back to the show. My name is Rika, and I'm currently seriously reconsidering all of my life choices. Tonight on the show from the Cowboys Zone, the Bluff City Cowboy, Marcus D. Jones.
Glad to be back.
And as always, Charlie Moffat. Ladies, Charlie is a Scorpio whose hobbies include football, cuss words, and copious amounts of pornography. All right, guys, let's do this thing. Hey, everybody, do us a favor before we forget. Go ahead, hit that like button or hit the dislike. We wouldn't blame you if you did. And give us a subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes,
the dead rising from the grave,
human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Enough, I get the point.
Tonight I'm wearing my Charlie t-shirt. Is it the Charlie Moffat t-shirt? Fuck no. It's the Charlie Fuck Around t-shirt. Listen, guys, twistedgorilla.com is the best place online to get t-shirts. They've got funny t-shirts, sarcastic t-shirts, but hey, most importantly, y'all, they've got Cowboys t-shirts. So head to twistedgorilla.com. Let them know that you're a fan of this show, that you're a fan of Rika Moves the Chains, that you're a fan of the Cowboys, and save 15% at checkout when you use coupon code RIKA15. And I don't know how to use my computer. There we go. All right, guys. So we're talking New England Cowboys. What do we got?
Yeah. First of all, I want to give a shout out to everybody in the comments. I see we got Tavis in here. Tavis.
Hey, Tavis. I'm glad to see you again.
I've been doing a lot of work on Saturday, so my college football game is off this year. So I'm going to be depending on you quite a bit for all your news and notes. So, man, keep bringing it. And I see we got Will Coulter. I think that's William Coulter. So thank you for joining. And as always, got the Lunatic in the building and Eric Berger. Appreciate you tuning in with us also. Just had to give a few shouts out for the guys who came in early.
All right, guys, where are we starting at? Offense, defense, where you want to go?
Go offense.
Offense?
Cowboys offense or Patriots offense?
Cowboys offense.
Okay.
Always go offense.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
let's do it. So.
Oh, we got some breaking news today.
Lay it on us.
Did I see a note that Brandon Knight got waived? Is that true?
I had to go to Walmart and get rid of a rescue dog. Then I had to go to my aunt's for my little cousin came back from the military. He's been in Qatar for a year and a half. So you might have been.
Somebody in the comments let me know because I could have sworn I got a Twitter update that said Brandon Knight was waived. I know you guys are all on it, but I'm trying to go through Twitter real quick to see. William Coulter says yes. So yeah, I got a Twitter update that said Brandon Knight was waived today, which was a shocker. Because
yes. Yeah. Seeing it on.
Wonder what that was about.
Well,
did they bring somebody
You know
up?
what? I'm going to be honest. I am not sure. The only website that I'm seeing this on is one called DallasNews.com, and okay. I don't know the legitimacy of that site.
That's that's DallasMorningNews.com. That's DMN.
John Machota just posted it too.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through the Google search. I haven't clicked on anything, so
yeah.
Yeah, that Dallas news. That's Dallas Morning News, so it's legit.
Yeah, and I see people putting ball in the comments. So that would probably tell me the team is taking Josh Ball off of IR. So that means he's probably pretty close to coming back.
Okay.
Keith said they waived Knight and signed Sprinkle in the fullback.
Yeah. I'm still shocked that they keep Naseki around. I just don't see it. I mean, you got Lyle Collins coming back next week. Terrence Steele has looked like a respectable tackle. So you're pretty much 3 deep there, and then you got a young Josh Ball about to come back. I just don't get hanging on to the 37-year-old.
Nah, I don't either. I don't
Is
know.
he still? I know he was injured, but I don't show him on the report this week. In Seki, I'm not sure.
Yeah. And my bigger
forgot
concern
about
with
him.
that is Brandon Knight plays guard. So if we got all these guys who are taking snaps at center, if something happens and we got to shift a bunch of guys, we just made our depth at guard even less because none of those other tackles can really play guard.
Speaking of
Yeah,
replacing,
Tavis is absolutely right. He is a bum. Yeah, I'm with
think
you.
we're going to replace Badass after the bye. You think McGovern can take over? He's been getting snaps at center now for 2 weeks in practice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for don't rock the boat. I mean, every offensive line has a weak link. Mm-hmm. Badass is ours.
Yeah, I've said that back in 2000. Well, actually, for fucking 3-4 years about Doug Free. People just gave him a hard time, and I'm like, he's on a fucking offensive line with 3 All Pros.
Right.
Okay, and the left guard at that time was dude with messed up knees we got from from
was it Kyle Kozier?
No, it was
I know you're talking about. His name just escaped me.
Came from Memphis.
Oh, you talking about why does this happen?
I don't know. You can talk off air. We won't ever forget shit. We come on, get in front of the cameras like and we can't fucking remember shit. It was him. He's a very good left guard, or at that time he was.
Yeah.
So it's like somebody has to be the weak link. You know, just because you're the weak link out of 5 badass motherfuckers, this was back then. It's not a bad thing. You know, he was one of my examples I always give about fans. Just I think sometimes overreact.
Yeah, Ron O'Leary. Thank you, Eric.
There we go, Larry. Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, that's he's definitely Whitley. The only thing about McGovern is I just always assumed he was going to take over when fucking Fred left. When we drafted him, I'm kind of like, his first year they had a red shirt because he was hurt, and then next year when Fred retired, I was like, all right, cool, McGovern's ready, he can step in, and then we drafted Badass, and I'm like, okay, well that's depth, no problem, let him compete, and they just never fucking let him take a snap at center until fucking 2 weeks ago. He finally started taking snaps at center.
Yeah.
I mean, they try to turn Williams into a center that, hell, he just started learning how to play guard last year.
Right.
And now you're asking him to switch another position and learn the center position. It's like, Jesus Christ, can you let the kid sit for one position for a few years? But yeah, I'm with you. I don't like to rock the boat, but if they saw it, since I don't get to see practice, so I don't see that part of it. If they see something and they think, we think he can do better, yeah, give him a shot. If he doesn't do better, then bring Badass back in. Mm-hmm. But I'm with you. I don't like to rock the boat. Hell, we're putting 30 plus on everybody. That's with Badass. Mm-hmm. We're it's, and I've always told people it's not his run blocking that concern. It's just his pass blocking. I'm with you. You was talking about the other night, and I know I bring my son up a lot. In high school football ain't got nothing to do with the fucking pros, but center is center.
Yep, football is football. Yeah,
he played center when he came up here his sophomore year, his junior year. They wanted him to be center. They wanted him to be a backup. If nobody was over top of him, he was fine. Mm-hmm. But when they put somebody shade him right over him, and Trey would admit it. Trey's like, he's like, I got to make that block. And I'm like, no, you fucking don't. What you got to do is get the fucking ball to the quarterback. I was like, that's your first objective. I was like, coaches know that you're going to need help. I was like, that's what the two guards on each side of you for to help you out. I'm like, the guy behind your quarterback, if you miss a block, he's athletic enough. That dude was great. I was like, he's no big fat lineman is going to catch him. I was like, but if you put the ball over his head and put him, then the whole play is screwed up. I said, just get the ball to him and then do your best. But he would tense up, and every time I see it when somebody line up over top, I'm like, this is going to be a bad snap. He was trying to hurry up and get it back there so he can get his hands on the guy. And that's the main thing. You was right on that. Most time when you see a bad snap, it's not that they forgot how to snap. I mean, fucking, they've been doing it for years. It's just that mental thing when you have somebody on top and you're thinking, damn, I got to block this big motherfucker. But then right after I snap it, so they're trying to hurry up and get it back there.
Hey, that's why I got moved from center to guard. So I know all too well about that.
That's what happened to Trey Day. It's like, okay, you're not ready for center. Let's just put you at guard. And he became a backup guard. I mean, he was small anyway, so he wasn't going to start, but they was just trying to find a spot for him.
Yeah.
So do you guys think that the return of Lyle, whether we put him back out over at right tackle where Martin isn't going to be focused on helping Steele, or if we were to plug Lyle in at left guard and take Williams out, would either of those moves then elevate Biotish because he would have more help at that point than what he does? Do you think that Martin being focused on helping Steele down on the end is taking away from what Biotish needs to be more effective?
From what I see in the games, teams are pretty much scheming to make sure Biotish is one-on-one. Like when you put a guy at the 0, it's pretty hard to give help.
Yeah, it's hard for the guard to come over.
Yeah, especially in pass blocking. When it's a guy right here, it's hard for that guard to come and help at all. Because that first step is right in your face. So just like Charlie said, he just has to focus on getting the ball back there and praying for dear life he can hold on.
Yeah, they hope you're running back and chip a little bit. Hope Dak can make a play and shit like that. But like I said, I mean, it's as bad as it is, or bad as some people make it out to be. We're fucking a top 5 offense in both running and passing. So, and I'm not saying when you do that, you just go with what you have, don't try to improve. You try to improve, but I'm with Marcus. Sometimes that grass ain't greener on the side, and it can get worse. I've always said that.
Yep.
Just because you don't like a player and you think just throw somebody in that they can do better, that's not how this shit works. Sometimes that fucking shit does get worse.
Yeah, they tried the Connor Williams experiment in the preseason. How many bad snaps did he have in one game? Like 4?
What's that? I was reading
the Connor Williams experiment during the preseason.
Oh, yeah, I know. That was horrible.
What are like 4 bad snaps in a quarter?
Yeah, that just was. And hell, I don't blame the guy. I mean, damn, the fuckers never played the position. So I thought it was kind of, and even back then, I'm like, why aren't they using McGovern?
Yeah.
I mean, he's did it in college. I'm not saying he was great at it in college, but at least he did it. You know, Connor Williams came in from a tackle, had to learn guard, and now all of a sudden, hey, go in there and try to snap the ball and learn center now too. Mm-hmm. That's a big ask.
That is.
You know,
I mean, that would be like asking Biotish to go play right tackle.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Yeah, Tavis, I'm with you. We need to draft a center. If you guys follow Cowboys on, you know this has been my pet peeve since April. This was my biggest concern going into the offseason, and still is, because you just can't go into an offense like that. That position is way too important not to have a legitimate backup there.
I can concur on that. He has been saying it for a long time. For 6 months, 7 months. What do y'all think about the Tyron Smith injury? Did y'all freak out like Cowboy Nation did?
No.
I didn't freak out, but I was definitely concerned.
This is why I wasn't concerned. The letters MRI, people lose their shit over that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I had 15 surgeries in a year and I've been through x-rays and CAT scans and MRIs. Maybe it's just because I understand a little better. But I don't understand the freak out. Because like Dak, the first time he had a shoulder strain, they're like, well, if it's a shoulder strain, why does he need an MRI? And my comments usually were, well, dipshit, he's a $160 million quarterback. They don't want to go out there and just feel his goddamn shoulders like, yep, it's a shoulder strain. That we diagnosed it by our hands. No, get that shit looked at and make sure you know what the fuck you're dealing with. Make sure you are right. Then his second MRI, everybody freaked out. Why does he need second MRI if it's just shoulder strain? Once again,
To see if it's
dipshits,
better.
they got to make sure it's better. They don't want to say, okay, it's been 6 weeks. That's how long it should have took. Get your fucking ass out there and start throwing the ball again. No, they want to make sure what they did fucking worked and it's healing. That's kind of like fucking when I look at Tyron. He just had neck surgery last year. When you have any kind of surgery, that fucking body part tends to get some inflammation on it at times, especially when you're using it a lot. So I feel like the part of that was probably some inflammation. And instead of just saying, yeah, we're going to diagnose the inflammation, they're going like, well, look, this dude's had a problem with his neck. He just had surgery on his neck. Let's get an MRI and make sure this is just what we're seeing and it ain't nothing bad and it's nothing that we're going to put him back out there and make him get hurt even worse.
Yeah.
That's in injuries. I don't worry about injuries until I have to worry about injuries. Like, to me, I wasn't worried about Tyron Smith until they came and it said he's not playing Sunday. Then I'm like, okay, I'm a little concerned, you know, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But no, I didn't freak out. MRI is just, I mean, I just kind of, it's fuck. Plus, you're a football player like me. To get MRI with insurance, you got to have a fucking doctor first X-ray you, and then the X-rays have to come back a certain way, and then you got to get approved to get a fucking MRI. That's how it works on insurance. Unless you get hit by a drunk driver like me, and they just throw you in one of the motherfuckers without asking anybody. But for most part, you got to go through steps to even get an MRI. Because I always, every time I get an X-ray, it's like, why don't y'all just do an MRI? They said we can't. Insurance doesn't cover it that way. They want you to get an X-ray first. And, you know, but if you're a football player, fuck the X-ray. Skip that shit. Go straight to the MRI and see what you can see.
Right. You're on Jerry Care, so there's no calling up Blue Cross trying to see if you can get approved for an MRI. I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I'm not certain, but it would not surprise me at all to find out that the Cowboys medical and training staff probably have their own MRI machine rather than going to another facility. It's probably cheaper for them. They can do them whenever the hell they want to. And it makes sense. It's the best diagnostic tool that they could possibly use for some very expensive players. And there's a lot of money on the line. So why wouldn't you do an MRI? Their reality, their medical reality is not ours. They have better care, more money. So no, the word MRI does not freak me out when I hear it. And I wasn't too worried about Tyron. No.
Yeah.
No.
Welcome in, Andrew.
Anything, if we would have lost him, I would have been worried for this game and this game only. But once Lael came back, I am now ready to say that I'm more comfortable with Steele than I was in the preseason and definitely than I was last year. And from what I remember, Steele always did a little bit better to the left than he did to the right. So if we had to kind of limp through this Patriots game without Tyron and maybe struggle a little bit, I would have been okay with that for week one.
Yeah.
Because of where we are 4-1, I would have been, well, this is the reality of it. But then moving forward, we could have used Steele down there on the left, and that would have been perfectly fine. So I wasn't ready to like set the world on fire and flip out over it.
I mean, I get it. I mean, he's had neck problems in the past, and all of a sudden, boom, it's his neck. After you have surgery, if he didn't have had surgery, then I've been more concerned because I'm like, dude, he needs to get that shit fixed. But with him having surgery, I feel like, that's just your kind of somewhat your normal thing. Once you have surgery and you go through 5 games of the season, it's probably going to start cricking up on you a little bit and getting a little inflammation in it and shit. And I know I swell like a fucking balloon every day. So, but I wasn't too concerned about Tyron.
Travis said Tyron has a bunch of stingers. Yeah, that's more than likely the case. Just one of those things that some players get them and they just keep having them.
Moose Johnson used to have him a lot, but that dude used to go through the line fucking.
That's true.
Fucking just knocking the shit out of linebackers and defensive linemen. I could see where he lived with the stinger.
All right.
Hey, Jack, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, and I saw Mendoza creeping here a few minutes ago. What's up, Mendoza? Thank you for joining also.
And Andrew Lunsford, he joined. But yeah, I just wanted to see what y'all's take was, because I saw everybody on Twitter freaking out and like, oh shit, you got to be kidding me. And I'm like, man, y'all need to relax a little bit. Let's let the news come out before we start losing our shit and start rearranging the line and seeing what we're going to do, who's going to play left tackle, before we even know what the hell is wrong with Tyron.
Yeah.
I like I said, I I just wasn't that concerned. But I never am. I just, when the news comes out, then I'll worry about it when the news comes out. Like when Dak broke his leg, I was concerned. The motherfucker was pointing the opposite direction. So I kind of knew, he's pretty much fucked. We lost him for the season. So I kind of knew that. But most time I let the shit just kind of let the news come out before I start freaking too much out.
All right, so I see the lunatic put a good question in the comments. Before we get to that question, because he says Belichick would try to take our bread and butter away. What do you guys think is our bread and butter going into this game? Is it the run game? Is it our advantage at the skill positions, tight end, wide receiver? What do you guys think is the bread and butter that Dallas is going to come to the game and say, this is how we're going to win?
Whatever Belichick takes away. I mean, seriously, I think that, dude, I'm not worried. I'm not a type of fan that goes and revision his history and start trying to compare teams and like, oh, this reminds me of the 90 Cowboy teams, especially dudes that are 35 and under and was 7 years old when they watched the 90 Cowboys. I'm like, I don't know if you quite remember that. But I ain't going to compare them that. But I will say this. I agree with Jimmy. It is probably the best team we had since 1995. And we can do whatever we want. That is impressive. I don't think it really matters what he takes away.
Yeah.
I think whatever he takes away, and that's why I love more. I trust more to adjust. Jason Garrett wouldn't adjust.
Yeah.
If he decided to take her a runaway, Jason Garrett wouldn't adjust it. He like, well, we got to run the ball. He would have kept trying to establish the run the whole game when they know he wasn't. More I don't worry about. If their game plan is to run, I think they'll come in. If Belichick's showing no, we're not going to let you do that, they'll be like, all right, good, cool. We'll just fucking eat you up in the passing game. I don't know. I think it's up to Belichick what he thinks are fucking bread and butter, because I don't think we have a bread and butter. I think
I agree.
We can just kind of win. I mean, you want to stack the box with 8 or 9? Great. We'll let Dak fucking just kill you with their wide receivers and tight ends.
Yeah.
You want to play 2 deep high and fucking double. They play a lot of man, though.
They play a lot of man.
That's another thing. Them playing a lot of man. If they don't switch that up, no matter if they stack the box or not, I think we'll eat them alive in the passing game. I don't think their guys can hang with our guys in the passing game. I think they're gonna. I think we'll win. I'll give my score at the end. I think as long as we go in there with the right mindset and we ain't thinking like fans think, we got this shit. As long as they ain't thinking that way, I think we'll be fine. I think it'll be a little tough. Road game's always tough. That's why I usually always pick the, if it's a close game, I'm always going to pick the home team to win. It's always tough to win on the road, but I just don't see this being that tough of a game. I could be wrong. It might end up being tough of a game, but our bread and butter is what the other team decides to try to stop. And then we have bread and we have butter. One's our bread and the other one's our butter. So.
Yep. What about you up there, Rika? Anything to add on what Charlie said?
Yeah, I mean, we've got enough weapons that if you're beating us one way, we're going to be able to adjust and go the other direction, just like he said. And that is one of the things that I love about McCarthy that we've noticed. When something isn't working, they do make an adjustment. They make it quickly. They don't go 3 quarters doing the same damn play over and over and over again, thinking that eventually it's going to work. If running the ball is going to help us win, then I'm all for running the ball. I will say that the only loss, as Will Coulter says, is when we didn't run the ball. I'm going to say that running the ball in Tampa Bay would have been completely stupid. We're now 6 weeks into this thing. No team has been able to effectively run the ball against Tampa Bay. That run defense is just too good, and we didn't get creamed in that game. I mean, it came down to whoever had the ball last. A few small coaching decisions, maybe we could have actually won that game. So I'm not going to say that we lost to Tampa Bay because we didn't run the ball enough, because that's simply not true.
Yeah.
We matched them toe for toe. That was a very, very narrow victory. I was really proud of that loss, considering the season we came off of last year. And I'm not going to buy into the narrative that we lost in week 1 because we didn't run the ball enough.
Definitely.
6 weeks later, no team has effectively run the ball against that defense. And if we face Tampa Bay tomorrow, I would say don't run the damn ball against them.
Right. Definitely agree. And
But
I'm
yeah,
looking.
I mean, if we go into New England and we figure out that they're not able to shut down Zeke and Pollard and running the ball is working, then yeah, run it all day long. But if Belichick has figured out a way to counter that and shut those guys down, adjust quick, and put Schultz and the receivers to work. So whatever you got to do, I'm not going to complain as long as there's a W at the end of the day.
Yep. And I was looking at Todd Corey's comment, just like Charlie said. They play a lot of man free, cover one defense, where basically they have one safety because they got Devin McCourty playing free. They love to bring him down and let him cover. And then they let Kyle Duggar kind of roam the field, kind of be a kind of a jack position like you see in college and do different things. So I think we're gonna see a lot of man, and then they just signed Jamie Collins back. They love their linebackers. They're all kind of big pass rushers. I won't go through the names again because I know I forget two names like I always do. But I think they're gonna mix it up with those linebackers and just do a lot of run blitzing and just try to fill all the gaps and see what can happen.
Yeah, they're like I said, as a Cowboy fan, I always worry. Anything could happen, but yeah, I'm pretty confident. I mean, we're the better team.
Yeah.
I mean, on paper, on the field, it's just a matter will we be the better team on the field Sunday, and I don't see no reason why we wouldn't be. Like I said, it would take a lot of. I think the weather's supposed to be a little nasty, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So that can always affect the game.
Definitely.
Make it ugly and might help New England out a little bit, but I still think we'll come out on top. I think right now we're just a well-oiled machine, and I just think I don't know, dude. It's like I said. I agree with Jimmy Johnson. It's the best team.
Yeah.
It's the best team I've seen. It's a 2016 team, except with a better quarterback.
Yep.
And I know we had the same quarterback, but that was a rookie. Dak wasn't doing shit. I love Dak. I fell in love with Dak that year, but Dak wasn't doing shit that he's doing now. I mean, it's not even, and as it should be. He's 6 years into his career. I mean, he that offense is his bitch, and he has made it his bitch. He controls that shit, So I like I said, it's a 2016 team except with a better quarterback. Well, actually, better quarterback, better wide receivers, more I don't know, better defense, yeah, but more optimistic defense. The only thing better on that 2016 team was probably the offensive line, and we still got a really good offensive line this year. It was just that offensive line was, T. Fred, Martin, fucking Leary, fucking Free, and fucking did I say Fred? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was just a badass offensive line. But that's the only thing. That's the only advantage I really see the 2016 team having. Weapons wise, they don't. We have a better run game because we just don't have Zeke now. Even though Zeke probably ain't 2016 version, he's still good. He's still good enough. And then you got on top of that, you got Pollard. And then you got and more than anything, I didn't even mention this. We got a better offensive coordinator and a better head coach.
Yep.
That's the most important thing right there.
So I know we're supposed to be talking offense, but we got back to Bill Belichick once again. I think they're gonna do a lot of just straight gap blitzing and see what happens on the back end. What do you guys kind of have a feeling about what Bill's gonna do against our offense?
I think he'll do shit that he hasn't done all year.
Okay.
That's just kind of how he is. That's why I always liked him as a coach because he does the same thing Moore does, except he does it on his defense side too. I mean, I've seen him in seasons where he'll come out in a 3-4, and then next game he'll be a 4-3 for 2 games, and he'll come back out and run a 3-4, 3-4. I mean, just whatever the matchup is, he adjusts. That's why it wouldn't surprise me if he plays less man this game. If he might switches it up a little bit and just maybe backs off the man a little bit, then again, he might, keep that the same. And like you said, blitz to the A gap a lot. He'll switch it up. Whatever it won't be the same defense they've seen the previous 5 games. He's going to do something different. But I trust more. This is where I trust more of saying, hey, okay, this is what you want. And even more admitted in his press conference last week or this week. He said he expects there's to be some mid-game changes that's how it is. It's kind of funny because they told him, they opened up like Bill Belichick always makes people play left-handed. He goes, "Well, I'm a lefty, so that's okay." And I was like, "Oh, that was pretty good." I thought that was a pretty good line there. But yeah, no, I think Moore expects it. I think Moore he probably has two game plans. Knowing how he is, I think he has a game plan and thinks he probably looks at like, all right, if I was a defense corner, hey, how would I stop us?
Right.
You know, and then he has a game plan to see if match what they're going, what he thinks they might do different. Like I said, I'm impressed with Moore. I've always been impressed with Moore. So but right now he's in a fucking zone right now with his play calling and his how he runs a bunch of plays out of the same set and shit, and he can run a run play to the left, a run play to the right, a fucking 9 route reception, and a fucking post reception, all out of the same fucking formation, and you never know where it's fucking coming from. And it's not even out of the same personnel grouping. He can use 21 and run the same fucking thing he does out of 11 with the same concepts. That's how good he is.
So I got this comment up by Tavis, and I want to ask you guys this question. So last week, it was kind of concerning how many times the Giants got their hands on balls and almost got 2 interceptions based off of tips. And Tavis talks about the quick passing game. Did that concern you guys at all, just seeing all those balls go in the air and the Giants almost get those easy turnovers?
That I think it was the first one I was watching, and the one that Carter got a piece of. Tyron came off of his block. Okay. Tyron Smith had Carter, and I kind of watched this back and slowed it down a few times. That rookie corner and I don't remember his name now. He kind of came around a little bit, to the left. That's the one. He came around to Tyron's left a little bit, and Tyron thought, "Oh no!" and he backed off that block from Carter. And as soon as he did, Dak let go of that ball, and Carter was able to get that vertical leap and get a piece of it.
That's a badass interception, by the way. That's a big guy to get vertical like that and still make the pick. I mean, people were saying Dak shouldn't have threw it. I'm going to put that on the defense because sometimes you just got to give the defensive credit.
Right.
Every once in a while, because we like to give Trevon Diggs all the credit for all his interceptions. But if them same interceptions was made by the other team, people put that on Dak. Oh, that's a fucking horrible throw.
Right.
But it was some of the fucking throws that Trevon got was horrible throws, but we're going to give him credit. So sometimes it's just sometimes they just make a good fucking play.
That was 77. He fell for that hook, line, and sinker. They knew exactly what they were going to do. They were going to run around to his left. They were going to distract him, and they were going to and I don't think even Carter knew that he was going to jump at that moment. He was probably waiting for Tyron to come off that block so he could get to Dak. And when Tyron came off of it, he looked and saw the ball releasing, and he was able to jump at the right minute. But the defense just did a good job on that one.
Yeah, they did.
The Giants defense just did a good job on that one, and they got the best of Tyron Smith, and that's going to happen sometimes. So,
like the lunatic said, defensive guys get paid also to make plays.
Yeah, like I said, but there was some tips, concern, but there was more than usual. It seemed like don't really know what that was about. Don't know, I didn't really review it enough to really try to get my opinion on it. But yeah, it was a few more than I expected. But concerned? No, I'm not concerned.
Okay.
But, I mean, I will be if it keeps happening.
Yeah.
But I think some of them was just good plays on defense, and shit happens sometimes. We scored 40-something points, so I'm like, yeah, sometimes this defense is going to win sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Charlie and I talked about this Wednesday night when we were live. We talked about it with Space Cowboy, and
great episode, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. Despite the high score, despite how good of a game it is, I think we all agreed that was not the best that we have seen this offense. It wasn't their best game. It just, it wasn't. And it's not that it wasn't a great game, because it was, and they played lights out. But we know that they can do even better. And that's the exciting thing, is that they can do even better than what they did last Sunday. So, no, I'm not real worried about those small little things in there.
Yeah.
Not at this point.
All right. Todd Corey put another great comment up here. Question. Just talking about Bill Belichick and how we think he's gonna change the personnel and try to mix things up. You think this would be a good game to throw some hurry up in there so he can't change his personnel groupings as much? Because we haven't seen it a lot from Dallas.
Yeah, I think Moore would do it. I think if he sees them running a bunch of personnel like matching their shit,
Yeah.
I think if he sees something that he likes, he'll keep them on the field and just fucking go with it and make them. Yeah, I can see that's where I trust Moore. I think Belichick will, and I think Moore will take for tap all the way down. I think if Belichick does something, Moore will switch it and he'll adjust to it and keep going. And Dak will adjust to it, man. Like I said, them two guys right now are just like they're like both their brains are together. It's like they know what each other wants. And I mean, it's like I said the other day when people talking about run the ball and stuff. I don't think they realize how many of them runs are actually pass plays called that Dak is checking out of and giving it to Zeke because Dak has that control. It's like, look, you're going to play that far off of me? I'm just going to give it to my big boys back here. Right. And then my big boys in front just fucking steamroll y'all. I mean, every once in a while you got to run into 8-man boxes. You can't not always run it. Every once in a while you just have to.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just you have to throw into too deep coverage, just to let them know we will do it. But no, Dak and Moore, man, they're just, you can only hope it continues, man. But right now they're just they're both in the zone. Just it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's fun to watch. But like Rocka said, there's a lot of shit we got to clean up. We haven't put a full game together.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing. I mean, very seldom people say we haven't put a full game together. Very seldom do teams put a full game together. I mean, through a 16, 17-game season, you might see 2 or 3 of them full. Most time, teams going to have 1 or 2 quarters where they look like shit.
Yep.
But if you can we haven't even put 3 good quarters together. We have not had 3 solid good quarters. We've had 2.5. That's about the max we've done. If we can just get 3 together, it will be fine. And hey, my Cowboys family, what's up?
Yeah.
But
we've got a few joiners in. We got MCF, the 94s. It's good to see you again. Dwayne Wright. Yusuf, thank you for coming in. My sister Allie. Thanks, guys, everybody, for joining us.
Yeah, keep those great comments coming, too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, we haven't talked about anything we wanted to yet because the comments just keep taking us to another direction.
That's how it usually happens.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
That's the best show.
That's why when I shared it on Twitter, I told them, come to chat, tell us what you think, and tell us what you want us to discuss. So, if y'all want to discuss something, put it out there and we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
Not that we're experts, but we'll give you our opinion and y'all can give us yours.
Definitely.
I agree. We have been sloppy all year, still getting the job done.
Yeah.
That's my buddy Pat. Yeah, no, like I said, I mean, there's definitely some shit we got to clean. And Dak talks about it every post game. Says that we're not even close to being. I mean, it's that there's still a lot of shit they got to clean up.
Yep.
Like penalties. There's been some penalties that's cost us drives. Some miscommunication between Dak and the receiver, or miscommunication in the line. They get through the line and shit like that. And yeah, like I said, I'm not critiquing them. I mean, we're scoring 30 plus points every game, so I'm fine with it. But I'm just making a point where we still can get better, and that's the scary thing about it. We're only 5 games. We're 4-1. You could argue we're the best offense in the NFL. I would actually argue we are the best offense in the NFL as of right now. I'm not saying we will be in the end of the season, but right now I think we are. And we haven't played a perfect game. And we played decent competition. I mean, we played Tampa Bay. We played San Diego Chargers. Carolina, don't really know where they are. I think their record, 3-0 record, was way, way, way above what they were.
Yeah.
I think
them losing to the Eagles kind of made me think more.
We exposed them. And once they fucking lost to the Eagles, I'm like, come on, dude. That kind of fucking makes our win against them that much less. Like, fucking killing us here. But they still got, I mean, it's not like the Eagles rolled up on them points. Eagles, I mean, they just, that was a good, like a defensive game that they won. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we've had decent competition. Like I said, people are always talking about, well, who have you beat? Well, fuck, if you look at the schedules, anybody's schedules, hell, there's only a handful of teams that are good, and there's a good chance you're never going to play them teams to the playoffs, or they're in the AFC and you're not going to see them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you can only play who you play, so I mean, but you start off with Kansas City and San Diego. I think that's a pretty good fucking on the road, and you go 1-1 in them games. I think that's pretty impressive, especially when you see what San Diego's doing right now. So I think we're fine. I think we're going to do good. I wanted a much cleaner game versus.
Yeah, we're down 2 starters too, 2 key starters in Collins and Gallup, and we haven't even talked about Gallup this season so far. That's just
that's another thing. We're talking about sloppy ball and one. Dude, we're without D-Law. We're without Collins. We went 1 game without Martin. We're without fucking Gallup for however many games he's been.
Every game he played week 1. That was it.
Week 1, that's it. So without him,
Donovan Wilson. He's only played 1 week.
1 or 2. But yeah, you might be right. But either way, my point is, it's just like we've had starters go down, and most of the time when this happens to us, our season goes to shit. And we're still fucking steamrolling. I mean, we're still keep going. That's why, that's probably the most impressive thing. I mean, can you imagine when fucking D-Law comes back, Gallimore comes back, Collins comes back, fucking Wilson comes back, the fucking depth we're going to have, the defensive line rotation we're going to have, the safety rotation we're going to have, the special teams will improve.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. So yeah, like I said, I'm with fucking MCF. I mean, I wanted a better game against the Giants too. It was kind of sloppy. Well, it was middle third quarter. He was only up 1 score, and then we just fucking caught fire, and then just when shit like that happens, you can just steamroll a team. But yeah, I always want a better game. But when you win 40 something to fucking 20, whatever crazy shit was, you're like, wasn't great, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Most fans don't look at the scoreboard in the highlights anyway.
Yeah, most people say that. You can tell how media covers us, like Colin Cowherd. You can tell how he does not fucking see us. He fucking sees this final score because people's like, oh, they dominated. We actually didn't dominate the Giants. If you watch that game, we didn't dominate them until probably 6-7 minutes left in the third quarter. Then we started dominating them. But that was a pretty close, like, what the hell is going on here?
Right.
We're keeping these fuckers in it. Let's put them away kind of type of game, But yeah, most of the national media don't watch us. They just watch the highlights, see the box scores, and they do their 2-hour, 3-hour show all off fucking box scores and fucking highlights.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what makes shows like this so important, because we talk about it from one end to the next.
Yeah, looks like you guys are ready to move on to defense in the chat.
Yeah,
Before we do, real quick, guys, if you haven't yet, please don't forget to hit that like button. Or if you hate Charlie, hit the dislike. We wouldn't blame you. We don't like him either. And go ahead and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live. Okay, DeLunatic likes that one. That's DeLunatic's favorite. He likes the view of Texas Stadium.
Yeah,
from the old Dallas intro.
For the older crowd, I think I don't know how old he is. I'm not going to ask, but for the older crowd, Texas Stadium, man, that's like a treasure to me. And because when I say I'll take Texas Stadium over AT&T, people give me shit. And I'm like, man, it's just I'm old. That was the first game I ever went to. It was in '95 there, and that. When you walked in that place, dude, you know how much fucking history was in that stadium? Just when you walked in on that field, Roger, Dorsett, Lilly, fucking, I can go on and on. It's just like there was so much history in that fucking stadium. And like I said, it's a piece of shit. You'd be walking through it and fucking shit be dripping on your head. But fuck it, man. I loved it. I was drunk half the time anyway, so it didn't matter.
All right, so we're moving on to defense. I got a few numbers. I took some notes. So Mac Jones, he's at a 71% completion rating. Not too bad for a rookie. The Patriots, so far this season, they're passing the ball about 61% of the time. Less running from them, more passing. Their Damian Harris is their lead rusher. He's only getting about 3.7 yards per carry. There was some talk this week about how Belichick may decide to run more, use the running backs more, use the tight ends more, to try to take Diggs out of play and stop that interception run. However, I think that would be a big misstep by Belichick. I don't think he's dumb enough to try to do that, and here's why. According to lineups.com, the Dallas defense is ranked 14th overall. We are ranked 5th in rushing yards allowed. We are doing very, very well against the run. However, despite being first in interceptions, in all of the passing categories, as far as completions, yards allowed, yards after catch, etc., we are ranked between 25th and 31st. So, despite the threat of that interception coming from Diggs, you would be smarter to go ahead and try to keep passing against the Dallas Cowboys right now, because we are shutting down runs much more effectively than we are the passes. And since they've already been passing anyway, that's what they've been doing. That's what they know. I would think that's what Belichick would want to stick to. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think if you look at them passing yards against us, most of them come in the fourth quarter and mop up time.
Yeah.
When they're when we're kicking the shit out of them. And like what we did with Carolina for fucking the whole fourth quarter, all they did was throw the ball on us. People was pissed that we was being more aggressive. I was okay with how they played it, because not only was Carolina playing against us, they was playing against the clock, and teams are just going to go conservative. But if you watch Carolina, just ate us up. Fucking, if you watch in the fourth quarter, if you watch Philadelphia, we was there at that game. Fourth quarter, they just ate us up. You know, fucking Giants, fucking the other day in the fourth quarter, just ate us up. A lot of them yards are coming in fucking garbage time. I seen somebody the other day, because I'm a big EPA fan. They did EPA the 4 quarters for Dallas pass, and then they knocked the fourth quarter out and just did the first 3, and we dropped tremendously, or raised, however you want to talk about. Our defense was down here, but when you drop the fourth quarter out of it, we will way the fuck up there, because because it was just a bunch of garbage time stats that we're just laying back and letting them fucking do whatever they want, because hell, we got the game won, and we're just making sure we keep them in front of us. But Belichick, I don't know. Belichick, it's hard to tell you what Belichick's going to do, because he's just so unorthodox. You don't know what he's going. He might come in and run the ball 50 fucking times, thinking he can do that. He might come in and say, "Hey, fucking rookie, we're going to throw it 50 times." So it'd be hard for me to say. I would, if I had to guess, I think he'd probably try to run the ball more than he would pass.
Yeah.
But, you know, since I think that, maybe he thinks what Cowboys thinking that too, so he might do the opposite and do what Riker said and just throw the shit out of it. But if he does throw it, I will say this: he needs to stay away from Diggs. You know, the thing about Diggs is fucking, I'm not going to put him in Dion's fucking category like some people are, because I was old enough to fucking actually watch Dion. I didn't like Dion. I couldn't stand the dude. But as far as on the field, there was no other quarterback in my eyesight that has ever been even close to what that dude did. You know, my dad would argue about some guys in the 60s and 70s that he remembers. I can't argue them because I wasn't born. But since I've been alive, Dion was the only true shutdown corner and will always be the only true shutdown corner. And the other guys' defense is because of the rules. You can't. Dion couldn't do quite what he did now back then. I mean, back then what he do now what he did back then, because he was handsy. But yeah, I ain't gonna put him on that level, but I will put him on. He can't bait you. He baited the fuck out of dipshit the other day on that fucking deep post. I mean, he just like let him like, hey, look, he's wide open, throw it to him. You got him wide open, and he's like, fucking, I'm throwing it to him, and then there he goes. He goes and picks it. And Mac Jones being a rookie, I think he'll bait Mac Jones into it. I think he'll let him think, hey, your guy's open. Go ahead and toss it down the field. And I think he'll get his 7th. I think he has a good chance. Fuck, he should have had fucking 9 by now. He should have had 2 more other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to add on what you said, Charlie, because when you look at the first 2 weeks and the last 3 weeks, the first 2 weeks, I mean, you look at Tampa Bay, you look at the Chargers, those could be your Pro Bowl receiving cores, like easily. Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, NFC.
They're up there with us on receiving core. I mean, they could argue they have the best receiving core in football. Both of them. I mean, they're top 5 receiving core in football.
So those first 2 weeks, you weren't playing slouches. the Patriots don't have a player who could probably make their depth chart or ours.
No, I agree with you 100%.
And
they might get lucky and get fifth, maybe.
Right.
But yeah, I agree.
And then you look at the last 3 weeks, like you said, it was pretty much just blowouts, and we were in cruise control after halfway through the third quarter, except for that Giants game, and that kind of happened a little bit later, but it was still the same thing.
Yeah,
they just let Tony get what he wanted, and
yeah, I mean, Tony did pretty good in the first half before that, but I mean, he's a number one pick. I mean, I liked him coming out of college.
Yeah,
so I mean, but overall, like I said, you're 100% right. That's how I look at it. I mean, we faced our two toughest competitions as far as receiving. Well, Kansas City will give us. I mean, they're coming up here pretty soon. But them two was to start the season off with a young defense and new defense coordinator and started off against that passing offenses with them weapons. That was a tough ask, and we went 1-1, and we kept San Diego under 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
And we went toe to toe with Tom Brady and the fucking Bucks. So, like I said, dude, this team is fucking good, man. I mean, they're fucking good, And I know a lot of people, and hell, maybe I have some of it in me. You're always expecting it to drop off because it always did, at some point. But I just, unlike some people who's not a big McCarthy fan, I'm a big McCarthy fan. And fucking, I think he's run. Everybody's giving more credit for all this, and he deserves all the credit in the world for the offense. But McCarthy's head honcho. He's the one. I think people underestimate who makes out the game plans. Not fucking offense. I'm talking about practices. Fucking how practices go, how fucking meetings go. I mean, he sets all this shit up, and I think he's doing a great job of it. I mean, going back to training camp and how training camp practices ran, the timing of it. We're going to do this time, this time. That's what head coaches do, and I think he's brought that team together. And I think he's done a great job. And one of the best job he's done is stay the fuck out of everybody's way. Let Moore do his shit.
Yep.
Let Quinn do his shit. That's the best head coach ever. The ones that hire good people, have good people around you, and trust them, and let them do their shit, and you take care of all the fucking rest.
Yep. And I want to touch on this comment because it's going pretty deep in the chat, talking about the Patriots run game. This is a little bit concerning for me because the kid that they got at running back is a bulldozer, and my guy Tavis pointed him out, Ramondre Stevenson, the rookie out of Oklahoma, didn't get a lot of fanfare because he kept getting suspended for weed violations in college.
We know about that.
When that kid played, he was LeGarrette Blount. I mean, he was probably 240, super athletic, quick feet. I think he averaged like 7 or 8 yards a carry in college. So a kid like that, they could definitely try to lean on him and try to keep moving the ball down the field. The only thing that'll help us in terms of that, I think the Patriots are down 4 starters on offensive line. So it just depends on how well those backups can hold up to our defensive line, which, like we keep talking about, we got a lot of guys. We emphasize stopping the run this offseason, and outside of D-Law, all those other guys are run stopping specialists, which I love.
Me, I'm a big EPA guy. And fucking as a run offense, they're ranked 28th in efficiency. They're way down there on run efficiency. They're actually way down there on everything efficiency on offense.
Yeah, missing 4 offensive linemen to do that for you.
Yeah, no, hey, we know how that goes. We know
all too well.
And on top of that, you got a rookie quarterback. So right. I mean that, and no receivers. At least we still have fucking wide receivers. Fucking on our team last year. McCarthy also has brought in great coaches. Yeah, I agree. MCF. Sorry I haven't catch y'all show lately, man. I've been getting to bed early. Been busy. Been tired. Rika wears me down. Fucking depresses me. Fucking makes me want to OD on my fucking medication. But anyways, I'll catch you.
I'm doing a great job.
Yeah, you are.
I'm proud
I'll
of
catch
the
you
work
tonight
I've
or
done.
tomorrow night.
Yeah, you guys are making great comments about the offensive line. Yeah, they're down 4 guys. I think the center David Andrews may be the only one that's playing this week.
Yeah, that's just tough. I mean, I don't feel bad for him because we're playing him, But but as a fan of the Cowboys, we have to understand like that does suck. I mean, we dealt with that shit last year, So and it's hard, It's like last year. I've said this a while back to the people who want, like already talking about firing McCarthy if Moore wants to leave, and I've always said I'm going to say at least 40% of them people are the same people who bitched about fucking Moore's play calling last year. Like, I mean, there was a lot. I can't tell you how many times I had to defend Moore after, week 7, week 8, week 15, because it's like his play calling sucks. He don't know what he's doing. And I try to explain to people, when you go from quarterback 1 to quarterback 2, your playbook that's that big, okay, it shrinks to that big.
Yep.
You can't run all the plays with quarterback 2. Then when you add on top of that, you're missing just every offensive lineman you have. It shrinks more. And then when you add on top of that, your defense sucks ass. It shrinks it even more. I mean, that's like they wanted him to call the same plays he called when Dak was in there, and you can't do that. Fucking Dalton could not run the same playbook as Dak can. I mean, it's not possible. And I don't think people quite get a grasp on that, because when the quarterback 1 goes down, it's like, oh, this is bad play calling. And I'm like, well, fuck, dude, you just can't call the same plays. Your playbook shrinks. There's just certain things that Andy Dalton can't do. And fucking this year be fucking Rush or whoever comes in. If that was to go out, your playbook shrinks. That's just all there is to it. There's certain plays you just can't run with fucking them backups that you can run with Dak, and they can't check out. And a lot of these plays where fucking Dak's checking out and going to run plays, they're not up to date enough to fucking be able to do that. So they're going to run into they're going to pass into some 2 deep zone. They're going to run into some 9-man boxes that Dak would have checked out of. It's a whole different ballgame. That's why I've always told people when quarterback 1 goes out, when they're elite like Dak is, if you got the 17th, 18th best quarterback, then there might not be too much of a gap. But when you have top 5, top 7, top 10 quarterback, when they go out, your season is pretty much 90% done. Especially if it's 6, 7 games or more, you kind of just lower your expectations because it's going to be a bad season for you. You get lucky every once in a while and always wish for luck, but lower your expectations.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you were preaching right there, Charlie. You had the guys in the comments backing you up.
What's that?
You were just everything you were saying. The guys in the comments are backing you up.
Well, thanks, y'all. Not too many people do that. You got some smart ass comment, Raka?
You can see it on her face.
You can see it on her face, can't you? You can't you?
I was about to say something, but I saw that look and I was like, let Raka get it out.
Just smiling, fucking with one of her Rika comments.
I'm just sitting here trying to be a nice lady. I don't know what the hell your problem is, man.
That never has happened. I don't know why you're trying now.
You need to calm down.
Did y'all like my new screen name? Raka's BFF?
Yeah, it's nice. All right, guys. So still talking defense. Keep the comments coming. You guys been great so far. Just talking about the offensive line.
Y'all been great. It's probably one of the better chats I've been involved with.
Yeah. So let's take it to the secondary because, of course, we know we got Diggs, and with the interception streak, and some people making comments about it, but the comments been coming so quick, I've lost the one I wanted to point out. But do you guys think that he gets targeted at all this week?
Who's that, Diggs?
Diggs, yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to. I don't think he's earned the Dion shit quite yet. I mean, like Troy Aikman was saying the other day, and I remember this. There would be like 2-3 games in a row, motherfuckers won't even go over. I mean, at very best, he might get a 5-yard curl route ran on him, and he's playing 10 yards off.
Right.
And that's about it. I mean, they just didn't challenge him. But Dion was Dion, dude. And I'm not ready to put Diggs in that fucking category yet, if ever, But I don't think he's earned it that much. But I do think he's earned it to where, like Dak said, after I think the second game that he had a pick, like the San Diego, it might have been Eagles, I can't remember. But he said that in practice, that he's figured out that there's just certain route concepts you just don't throw at Diggs. because he's going to pick it. He said he has to understand it. He said so when he sees other quarterbacks doing it, he just laughs. He said they just have to figure it out. There's just certain route concept. He said he first saw it his rookie season, Dak said in 2020, went on two back-to-back 2-minute drills. Diggs picked him off both times.
Yeah.
And he figured out then, like, I can't throw that ball right there. That's a route concept I can't throw. He's going to pick it. And so I think teams should start doing that. It's like, hey, these are the routes that you don't throw his way, and then pick some other routes. But I do think he has earned the respect to where you don't throw at him as much as they have been. I don't think you should challenge him that much. I think he's up there with Ramsey. No, I'm not going to say he's as good as Ramsey. I'm going to say he's playing better than Ramsey right now. But as far as overall, I'm not going to put him over Tom. But how teams face Ramsey and how they challenge him, I think Diggs has earned that much. Fucking throw at him, but just you got to be cautious when you throw at him. And like I said, he's a rookie quarterback, and I have a feeling he's going to bait that fucker. He's going to let somebody go open and just say, hey, look, that fucker's wide open. And Mac's going to be like, oh, fuck, look at that. And then, he throws it. Next thing you know, he's getting picked. I love watching him play. I mean, I love watching Diggs play. I mean, in fact, most time I don't watch cornerbacks on live game. I'm watching the defense line because that's my shit. I love defense line linebackers.
Same here.
But with him, I'll watch him until he runs out of the screen because I want to see where he's at when because he's that good that he makes me. I used to do Deion the same way. I used to always watch Deion, what he was going to do, who he was covering and shit like, which was a pretty boring game because nobody ever fucking threw to him.
Right.
So I don't know why I watched him so much, but watching Deion live, Pat brought it up earlier. Do you remember that game we went to? And it was 97. It was a Monday Night Football game, and Deion was playing. Watching Deion live, dude, that was fucking – it was a lot better than watching him on TV because he's fast, but in live, he's real fucking fast. Like, he was returning a punt that night. I don't think he returned for a TD, but he got a long punt return. Dude, he was so smooth when he was running. It was like he doesn't even look like he's moving that fast, but he is. And he was just picking bing, 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 bing. It was cool to see him in fucking person.
Yeah. So you brought up the baiting, Charlie Riker. That play last week with Diggs when he got the interception, do you think there was like an obvious bait to get the ball thrown to him to get that pick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I think Diggs is going to be able to do it to Mac Jones too easily. I've watched a few New England games. I caught one live, and I went back and watched a couple on Game Pass. Mac Jones has the potential to be a very good quarterback. His completion rate is very high, but he is a rookie in week 6. So the word I want to use is impulsive, but maybe that's not quite right. He's just still learning what he can and cannot do. He's learning what he can get away with in the NFL and what he can't.
Yeah.
So Diggs is going to get the best of Mac Jones. It's going to happen. I mean, we saw him against Jalen Hurts, who for me is really still kind of a rookie quarterback. He only had 3 or 4 starts last season, and I would just kind of scratch that mess and say Hurts is really kind of still in that rookie situation. Diggs is gonna get the best of Mac Jones.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really fun to watch for Cowboys fans. But and it's not a diss on Mac Jones. I think there's quite a bit there, and in a few years, you're going to see a very good quarterback, especially under Bill Belichick. He's going to be able to do some great things with that young man. But for right now, he's young and he's impulsive, and Diggs is gonna bait him. He's gonna get him.
Okay.
Did you not think it was, Marcus?
Oh yeah, I did. I just want to get you guys' thoughts. Oh, that was clearly
because I'm about to say sometimes people was like, oh, he's a bait. I'm like, I think he just fucked up and let him go by him. But that's how you see him. He was just jogging. And then as soon as that ball was thrown, that motherfucker took off. Like, there he goes. I got him.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing I think that's even great about that, they keep talking about Diggs' athleticism. Diggs is a mid 4.4, 4.5
Yeah,
runner.
I agree.
He's not athletic in terms of speed. He knows his ball skills are elite. So it's like, if I'm within arm's distance of you, I can still get the ball.
Right.
So that's what makes it even. It's not like what you said with Deion, it's like another gear.
Oh yeah, Deion fucking was wild.
Diggs is like, if I can get within an arm's length and touch the ball, I'm gonna come down with it just as likely as the receiver, and that's awesome for a guy to have the kind of confidence in his ball skills.
Dion would let motherfuckers get like way ahead of him.
Yeah,
like
he did.
just, I mean, there was plays where he just let them, hey, y'all just get by 15 yards and just keep going, and I'll catch up eventually. That dude, I like to say, I didn't like him as a, no, I can't say as a person because he doesn't drink, he doesn't hit on his wives, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
But his personality and his money shit, sometimes that shit got on my nerves. But as a player, dude, that motherfucker, like I said, I've never seen a, I don't even know if there's a cornerback in my mind that's even close. Revis was great, but Dion, dude, just did shit that I've never seen before. He was just fucking good at everything he did. Played wide receiver, he was good. Return punts, he was good. Playing cornerback, he was good. Didn't fucking matter. Just put him on the fucking football field and he was good. Maybe not good at tackling, but, you know, but he wasn't bad at it. I mean, he wasn't horrible. There was times he made some business decisions every once in a while, but hey, you know, whatever. I was okay with the business decisions because I knew eventually he was going to make one that was going to help us out, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, like I said, not really a fan of him as a person, but, you know, his money shit. But as a fucking player, dude, you know, I couldn't ask for a fucking better cornerback.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? And Dion's staff is really rude. I am never allowed back at his house again. And I wasn't doing anything wrong. But I've been asked to please not return.
Naked at his house all the
time? No, it was the late 90s.
That was Mark Irvin that said that he used to go home and after a road trip, walk in his house, there'd be women all in his house naked. I'm like, man, what a wonderful life, man. Right. That would be so great, just to walk in your house with naked women.
It was the late 90s. I had this friend whose dad owned a window company, and they were going to, I believe it was Irving at the time where we went to install all new windows in Deion Sanders' house. And I was like, I have to go. And she's like, you can't go. And I was like, oh, come on, take me. I gotta go. So they give me a t-shirt for the window company, and I ride along, and we get there, and I'm just walking around with a clipboard and a pencil, just going through Dion's house, looking at all of his shit, because that's what I wanted to do. But eventually, like the housekeeper and the personal assistant and the people that were there, they were like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here. You don't work here. You got to leave. And I was like, yeah, but I really do work here. I got the t-shirt, and they weren't having it. They kicked me out. But he had some cool shit in his house, though.
I would too if I made that.
Thought it was very rude, though, to kick me out and not allow me to come back. I mean, I didn't steal anything. I was just like,
I'd kick you out of my fucking house too if you came in.
I was just going through his stuff.
Yeah, DJ Dog. Yeah, Walls and Downs. Growing up, when I was playing Pee-wee and I was like 8 or 9, that was our quarterbacks. Everson Walls and Downs. They was like my favorite players because they played cornerback. I played cornerback, so it's kind of one of them things. But yeah, both them dudes, especially Walls, they was good.
Yeah. Let me go back to this question because my Cowboys family put it up a while ago. Comment. He said we got to watch Hunter Henry, Jacoby Myers. So when we talk about Diggs, you guys think he's going to do a little bit of shadowing on pretty much the only receiving weapon, or is it going to be just kind of take whoever's in front of you?
Honestly, I think it's take whoever's in front of you because I don't think they have a receiver. Excuse me, I'm sorry, worthy enough to follow.
I agree with that.
If one breaks out of something, if one's like just has, you know, all receivers do. I've seen number 2, number 3 wide receivers just have that game. That just like, what the fuck? How are they doing this? If someone's having that game and it's just beating the brakes off everybody, then they might like, all right, at halftime, hey Diggs, you shadow this guy for the rest of the game. But right out the bat, I don't see any. There's not a player on that team that I think Diggs needs to shadow that guy because just it wouldn't make no sense to me. Just let him stay on one side of the field, and whoever comes this side, just let him. I don't know. Do you see a guy that he needs to shadow?
No, I mean they may try to dust and kill Harry out this week because he's just a big guy.
Yeah, you're right.
Just throw a couple up and see what happens. But other than that, no, there's nobody that really concerns me on this team.
Yeah,
in terms of the receivers.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying they won't. They might pick one and say, hey, y'all want you getting him. Maybe they see something on film that they like. I don't know. Or they don't like and they want Diggs to cover him. So I don't know. But just fucking coming from a layman's view of me watching the Patriots like I have, I don't look at one guy as like, fuck, Diggs needs to cover that guy the whole game.
Yeah.
I think all of them, not me, not my fat ass, but all of them can handle any of their wide receivers.
Yeah, and Tavis brings up the name Kendrick Bourne. I mean, he's a guy. If he does a little bit in the slot, so be it. I don't think he's the type of guy we gotta scheme around or we gotta throw our best at him to kind of stop the game plan.
One thing was Rock was saying I didn't follow up on talking about Mac Jones
Yeah.
being, rookie, but look, it's all like he's going to be. Another thing people's got to understand, dude, he's fucking replacing the GOAT. Do you know how much fucking pressure's on that motherfucker?
Mhm.
I mean,
Right.
he's replacing 20 years of Tom Brady, 9 Super Bowls and 6 Super Bowl wins. And then he went off last year to another team and won another one. Fucking that I can't imagine that, to have to walk in there, fucking walk on that field and be where Tom Brady was, and knowing the fans are watching you, and they can say they're not, they're fans, not the fucking coaches. They're comparing him to Tom Brady. That they want their next fucking Brady.
Uh-huh.
That has to be tremendous. I mean, I know he played at Alabama. I get that, and Alabama's like the New England of fucking college, but it's still different, man. I mean, he wasn't replacing a fucking legend at Alabama. Fucking, I wouldn't call Tua a fucking legend, but yeah, that has to be fucking hard. I mean, he seems like a good kid. Fucking, all of his interviews, I always kind of liked him. He kind of, and plus he's got a dad bod. You know what I'm saying? He already dude got a fucking beer belly and everything. Like, he seems like a cool little kid. But fucking Tom Brady, when he came out, y'all see the pictures of him at the combine, that motherfucker did have a fucking muscle on his fucking body.
Yep.
That motherfucker was looked like he weighed about $165. Fucking slow as fuck. Next thing you know, he's fucking go to 9 Super Bowls and win 6. That's just fucking crazy, dude.
Yep.
That's just wild. He's a beautiful man, though.
I don't know if we acknowledged this. Stephen White, thank you for joining. I see you've been putting quite a few comments up here.
No, I didn't acknowledge him. That's my bad.
And also,
we got Marcus controlling the chat tonight because Marcus is so good at the chat. So if you don't get announced, blame Marcus because he's the one doing this shit. No, I'm just kidding.
White,
but no,
and
we always let
DJ
him control
Dog,
the chat.
thank you for coming in. And Gilmore is here to terrorize me. So yeah, a few new joiners in the chat. You guys don't forget to give us a like or give us a dislike, whatever.
Dislike.
Damn, it's free.
Leave a comment too, because YouTube algorithm, comments counting that shit, likes and dislikes counting all that. So just, say, hey, y'all are great. Hey, y'all fucking suck. Whatever you want to put, just put a comment on there. Because like I said, that helps us either way, bad and good. It still helps.
Mm-hmm. All right. We talked a little bit about Jacoby Myers. There was a second player mentioned in that comment, and that was Hunter Henry. So, the Patriots got those 2 big tight ends. They paid a lot of money for this offseason. They haven't really had a chance to unleash them this year because they've both been injured first quarter of the season. I think they're both kind of healthy now. Do you guys have any concerns with both tight ends being healthy this game and how you think we handle them? I know Curse has been pretty good at coverage, but he doesn't play man all the time. And you just never know when it comes to tight ends and a game plan. What do you guys think about that?
You go ahead, Rocker. You haven't. I've been talking a lot. Go ahead.
I had two players on my list, one defensive, one offensive, that I felt like we were going to struggle with, and Hunter Henry was my guy that I felt the defense was really. It's not that we can't beat him, but I certainly hope that they would have planned for it. He's the guy we should have game planned for, and then offensively, it was Matt Judon, who's had 6.5 sacks this season, their linebacker. That's the guy we want to keep our eye on and make sure that we're accounting for him and neutralizing what he can bring. So Hunter Henry is definitely on my radar.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't think that we can't overcome it. We just should have planned for it, I would think. And I bet we did. I've got faith in Dan Quinn. I'm sure we did.
Yeah, I think, that's fair. I mean, if you're going to pick out one guy on the offense I got to worry about in their passing game, I guess that would be him.
Yeah.
Plus he's a tight end, so he's going to get locked up on linebackers and safeties. But, it's not like we're slouch there either, but I guess. But that's their only one. I'm okay with it. I mean, if Henry goes off for 6 catches, 150 yards, and a TD, and we still mollywop him 40-20,
Yeah.
I'll be okay with it. I don't think he can take over the game. That's what I think he'll be their best target, and they probably have game plan for him to be involved. But and I think maybe he even does have a great game, but I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, I agree.
My boy Cox, I think he'll get a little bit more playing time this week.
Okay.
I hope he does because I love when Cox is on the field. And but anyways, but yeah, no, I think he'll end up getting, because I know before the season started, everybody thought he's going to get redshirted more or less and get less than 10% of the snaps, and I couldn't believe that. I kept telling people I can't see any way that happens, and I said I think he'll get 25 to 35% of the snaps, and I think now that Jalen's gone, I think he will get 25 to 30% of the snaps, maybe more, but I think he'll, by the end of the year, that's what you'll see him get. And like I said, man, he's played a lot better at the run than I thought he would.
Uh-huh.
I said 25, 30%. I said it because his pass coverage ability, bring him in on passing situations. But hell, man, they're bringing him in there on run situations, and hell, he's doing good against the run. So I don't know. I think we'll be fine. But yeah, Hunter Henry, yeah. I mean, if you have to, yeah. I mean, I think he'd be the one person I'd worry about on their offense. But man, with all them offensive linemen out, Marcus, I think we're going to get a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope we're aggressive and we blitz a lot. I hope we blitz fucking Parsons in the A gap, because like you said a night on your show, dude, you can't block him. It's hard to block him when he lines up right over the center. He's just too quick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just. Can you imagine badass trying to block Parsons? Fucking snapping the ball and then trying to fucking block Parsons. That's he's a fucking problem. I mean, to deal with. I mean, because his get off is fucking second to none.
Yep.
And if you got a bunch of backups in there, that makes it even better. But yeah.
Thank you, the lunatic. I was really proud of my Cox segment.
Oh, what did he sign in see the premiere episode? Right? The Cox segment broadcast. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I did good in it too, because even her sister said I was. What did she call me, a panhead?
Yes, she said Charlie is the most deadpan motherfucker I've ever seen. That he just can sit there and not crack up.
Yeah, because she just asked me a Cox question. I was just like answering him seriously. Yeah, I think Cox should go front and back, but hey, maybe Cox should go side to side every once in a while,
right?
Giants met our Cox. That's Stephen White. Yeah. There you go. Get in the conversation there, buddy.
Daniel Jones got smacked in the head by her Cox. I'm going to hell for that.
And the show goes off the rail at an hour and 18 minutes.
It always goes off the rail at some point, dude.
I got one more
go ahead,
Patriots offensive question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then we can kind of move on or whatever. So a staple of the Belichick offense has always been passing it to the running backs. Now they lost James White, but they got Brandon Bolden, who's been kind of filling that role. We haven't seen a lot of teams really throw it to the running backs out of the backfield against us. Do you think that could possibly be something we should be concerned about with them kind of targeting a running back? We love Micah Parsons. We've seen guys take him out wide, but we really haven't seen a team just kind of running the wheel routes or the 5-yard outs with the running back out of the backfield. You think that could possibly be a problem with our linebackers trying to cover stuff like that?
Let me ask you this, and I don't have an answer to this.
Okay.
Do you think teams are doing that because of our speed at linebacker?
You mean they're not doing it?
Yeah, they're staying away from it because of our speed, because how fast Parsons get out there, Cox and even Neal, that, or do you think that's just something that they just haven't? Because that I don't know. That was a good question. I'm like, well, maybe they haven't done it, because I haven't really paid attention enough to even know if that would be true or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just looking at our schedule real quick, thinking back, the Bucks didn't have what's their shifty running back name? That name just escaped me.
Bucks.
Fournette.
No,
the
the other guy. The guy
The
that
guy that
fumbles all the
compared
time.
to James White 50 times during the broadcast.
Yeah, the guy that fumbles a lot, or
No, not Ronald Jones.
not Ronald Jones. Oh yeah. Where's fucking goddamn Mendoza when we need
I
him?
know. Well,
Motherfucker, where's he at?
somebody's gonna put it in the comments. So the Bucks didn't have their pass catching running
True.
back. Then you look at the Chargers. The Chargers have a great pass catching running back, but they didn't really do it. I don't know why. Then you look at the Eagles; they were just getting smoked from the beginning, and they took their
Gio
running back
Bernard.
game.
There's
Gio
Mendoza.
Bernard. Thank you.
There's our little Mendoza.
I always depend on Mendoza when you need a player's name. So yeah, and then you look at the Panthers; they didn't have McCaffrey, and then the Giants lost Saquon, who they like to use like that. So I don't know if it was really
That's true.
teams not scheming for us, or every team we played except the Chargers, their pass rusher was just out. I mean, their pass catcher.
That's true.
was just
McCaffrey
out.
was out. Yeah, you're right. Maybe that's what it was. They just didn't have that option. San Diego being the one that we don't understand why they didn't do it more. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they will.
Yeah.
Because New England does. You're right. They do like to do that. Maybe that's something that they'll try to attack. You think
That'd
we
be
can
definitely
handle it
something
though?
interesting to pay attention to.
You think we can handle it though? You think Parsons?
I don't know.
Neil,
That's why I asked the question. I don't
because
know.
nobody.
I
Because we never seen it.
Yeah, I like what Jack Meeker said. Parsons will grin like the Grinch if they start throwing to their backs.
Now, I'm not saying the backs won't get blown up when they catch it, but if he can guard routes, because you hear stories from Penn State about Parsons would line up at receiver and he could have been their best receiver. And of course, the athleticism is there, but
Well, the fucker wants to return punts,
right.
and I think he could play pretty good punt return
I
too.
think he could too.
The dude's just fast. He's just a fucking athletic freak.
Right.
That's why when he's lining up at defensive end, some people want him there full time. I wasn't for that. Some people was freaking out about it and didn't want him there. I was just impressed that he was able to do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that's just one more thing he can do. That's just, dude, there's nothing he can't do. You can line him up at the mic and let him drop in coverage. Probably not what you want to do a lot of, but he can do it. You can blitz him A gap. You can blitz him in B gap. You can put him on a Sam on a week or as a designated pass rusher with the defensive end and let him rush standing up. You could put his hand in the dirt. He could be a defensive end on a certain pass. It's just, hey, just put him, just like, go get ball. That's just kind of how he is. That's why a couple of weeks ago he said, I'm tired of people asking me about position. I'm a ball player. That's what he is. And that's just, there's nothing he can't do. That's why he was able to do defensive end. Right. I'm like, that just makes the pick that much more valuable. There's nothing he cannot fucking do. Yeah. Put his hand in the dirt, rush standing up, rush from the linebacker spot, rushing from the fucking blitzing from the A gap, B gap. It's just like, hey, throw him, and he can cover. He's not great, but fuck, he'll get better. Hell, he only played, 2019 at linebacker, so he has a lot of learning to do and a lot of ways to get better. He's going to get stronger. I don't know how he can get any faster. The dude runs a 4.3.
Yeah.
So yeah, the dude, like I said, as everybody know, I didn't like the pick because of the off the line linebackers ain't valuable. But when you use them like that, then I'm 100% okay with it. If they told me coming out, hey, we're going to do all this shit with Parsons, I wouldn't ever bitched about the pick.
Right.
I would be like, well, hell yeah, fucking, I'll be okay with that pick. But yeah, no, he's fucking good, dude. He's fucking good.
I love that versatility. I love versatile defensive players because, and no shade to D-Law, but when a quarterback sees DeMarcus Lawrence on the field, they know what he is. They know that he's the defensive end. They know what his assignment is. They know where he's going, what he's trying to accomplish. But when you're moving guys around and that play clock, see what you got me doing? The play clock is running and that play clock is running. You've only got just a few seconds to figure out what the hell is this defense doing. And if you've been moving around and you don't know exactly what is Micah Parsons doing, is he a linebacker? Where's he at? What's going on with this guy? That just makes it better. That makes it
because you
better.
can line him up outside as a pass rusher, and he can drop in coverage. You can shift your whole blocking scheme to him, and then he drops in coverage, and that leaves somebody else not being blocked because they shifted to.
Yeah.
There's just so much you can do
Especially
with
a
him.
lot of
I
these
love having him.
younger quarterbacks that we're facing this season. We're not facing. I mean, we had Brady at the beginning. We're not facing a whole lot of real veteran quarterbacks this year. So, yeah, we can confuse them. We can make it hard for them to read what we're going to do.
If we had him and Rod was here, I wouldn't like it.
I agree.
You got to give Quinn credit for this because Quinn said Quinn ain't pigeonholing him into a position. He's just saying he's a playmaker and we're going to use him everywhere. We're going to line him up everywhere. He's going to cover. He's going to blitz. He's going to put his hand in the dirt. That we're going to do everything we can with him. And if Rod was here, he'd be Jalen all over again. You know. And somebody said this a while back. It might have been Marcus. It might have been somebody else. Parsons right now is what everybody hoped Jalen Smith was going to be. Jalen Smith coming out of college, this is what we wanted from. That's what, not me, because I didn't think he was going to ever be that. But fucking, that's what everybody hoped, that he would heal, and this is what he was going to be. And he's getting 98% of the snaps, and 95% of them was good. Unlike Jalen, where 35% of them was good out of 98.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what we all hoped Jalen was going to do. You know, but in Jalen's defense, and he couldn't do what Parsons did, but in Jalen's defense, he had Rod, and Rod would never use Jalen like we're using Parsons. Again, Jalen couldn't have done it anyways, but even if they attempted it, but Rod would never try it. Rod had Parsons. Rod, he would be middle linebacker. That's it. Probably wouldn't blitz that much, you know, because Rod wasn't very aggressive. He'd be in coverage a lot and just kind of, you know, like I said, a wasted pick because he's off the ball linebacker. Yeah. I give Quinn 100% credit on this for seeing who he was and saying, hey, we ain't going to pigeonhole. We're going to use him everywhere. So
if Rob were here, we would have taken Greg Rousseau. And
you're probably right. No, you're probably right. Yeah. We never got Parsons. You're right.
I believe that with everything I believe in, we would have taken Greg Rousseau if Rod Marinella was still here.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind you on that. It wouldn't ever, Parsons wouldn't ever been the pick.
Yeah.
But he ain't here anymore, so fuck him in the neck. We got a better one.
and one thing people don't talk about with Parsons, we know the speed. That 3-cone, which is even more important.
Wasn't it like a receiver's 3-cone? I mean, wasn't it like way the fuck up
there? It's a sub-7, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
If you can get a corner with a 3-cone under 7, you have a chance of getting a Pro Bowl level corner.
Yeah.
But when you got a kid that's 240 with a 6'8", 6'9" 3-cone, and for the people that don't know, 3-cone basically tells you how guys can start and stop and play in tight spaces. That's what makes him so great and be able to play a defensive end, because for us, if you watch him, you can see he can go outside and cut back in a heartbeat. That's not something a normal human being can do. Most NFL players can't make the moves that Parsons makes, and that was what makes him so interchangeable in multiple positions, that 3-cone.
Yeah, he's an athletic freak, dude. I love his personality. Yeah. You know, I love everything about the kid. I mean, he's like, I'm not a jersey guy, but he's one of, if I was going to buy a jersey, he'd be one of the jerseys I'd buy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like his interviews. He's funny. You know, did you ever see that Ghostin interview, Bluff, last week? Yeah, because I know he's your guy. I kind of like, you liked him. Oh, he's funny as hell, man. Big old smile. He's just a big old kid, smile on his face.
Okay.
You know, joking. It was great.
I'll go check that out.
It was before the New England. It was going into the last game we just played. My mind just went blank. Who the fuck did we just mollywop?
The Giants.
The Giants. Yeah, it was going into that game. It was after the Carolina game. They was at, because, you know, he kind of broke out in the Carolina game. Kind of had, you know, some tackles, and I think he maybe even a sack or something. But yeah, they was interviewing him next week. It was hilarious. I mean, he go with a smile on his face, man. It was a good interview. And he was real detailed in his interview too, like explaining stuff. But yeah,
it's good.
He seemed like man. He's another one. The past few games I've been impressed with. You know, hell, let's move it over there now. Defense, our defense going into their offense.
I've been extremely impressed with how he's played, considering he had no offseason.
Well, like I said, I have no problem. I've admitted it. For 30 years, I suck at judging quarterbacks come out, and in the past 7, 8 years, I have not been in the draft like I used to be in the draft. So I live off people like Marcus, Connor Lopsay from Blogging the Boys, Vach. People like that, because I still form my own opinions, but I gotta listen to them because past 6 years I just haven't paid attention to it after my wreck. But yeah, because I gave Golson I think a C or a D or some shit. And I gave fucking Osa a C.
Yeah.
And Osa done moved up into an A plus for me. And Golston, he's already moved up to a B plus, and if he keeps up going, he's going to be A for me too. It looks like we knocked it the fuck out of the park with this draft, dude.
I don't think it's a fluke with these guys either.
No, I don't think it's a fluke. No. I don't think, not with, especially Osa. Yeah. He's getting way too much playing time against number ones, game after game, and fucking dominating and just looking great.
Yep.
For it to be a fluke. I mean, because it's not like he does some kind of fancy shit that somebody's going, okay, now we got film on him. He just overpowers you more times than not. There's nothing on film that you can watch to think, okay, this is what I'm going to do, except maybe double and triple team him. That dude just, I mean, his leverage is probably as good as leverage I've ever seen from a defensive tackle.
Right.
Especially a young one. Warren Sapp was fucking awesome at his leverage and shit, but he was a vet when he fucking was doing his shit.
Now, I'll bring this one thing up. It's one of the things that pisses me off about D-Law, and I won't go any further with it.
Uh-oh.
When I look at
D-Laws in the chat.
When I look at Golston, in 2 weeks, I've seen him play all 4 positions on the line. I've seen him play stand-up linebacker. If D-Law is the great player we say he is, why doesn't he do that? Like, we know, and he only plays 60% of the snaps. Golston's been in the league 2 games, and he's already at 60%. Why does D-Law only play in one spot, and why does he only play 60%? That annoys me. And I like him as a player, but I just don't get it.
I like him as a player. I don't love him as a player.
Those are my reasons I don't love him.
Yeah, and I always kind of get pigeonholed into people saying, "Oh, you're just another D-Law hater," and I'm like, no, because I've actually defended D-Law a lot of times too, But no, you're right. I don't know. I mean, like last year when he had to stand up, when he was running 3-4, people gave him excuse. Well, he can't stand up. I'm like, why not? Why can't he do more? I mean, why? I mean, if you go back to the history of all the great edge rushers, it didn't matter where you put him. You could put him on right, you could put him on left, you can move him inside. Maybe the 240 guys you couldn't move inside, but the bigger guys are 275, you can move them inside, you can stand them up. It didn't matter. Yep. And I've always said this. I don't understand why he only gets 60% of the playing time. I've never understood that. I don't know. I don't know if that's a coaching thing, if that's a D-Law thing, or what. Because I gotta imagine how D-Law is. I gotta imagine it's not him saying, "Hey, bring me out." I gotta imagine that's the coaching staff deciding that.
Yeah.
But that's been every coaching staff that's done that with them. I say ever. There's only been 2 really, so 3 now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I agree with Golston. And maybe when D-Law comes back, maybe he will. Maybe Dan Quinn be like, "Hey, you're gonna have to do more than just put your hand in the dirt from the left side. You got to stand. You have to move in. You got to move to the right. You're gonna have to do all kinds of shit."
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the coaching. That's what it's been, and Dan Quinn's going to change it and move him around and do more stuff with them. I don't know.
But DJ Dog, that's a great point. But my counter to that is, I watched Golston in his first game with no offseason, coming from an injury. In one game, he played 3-tech defensive end. He played curl flat, and he spied the quarterback. In his first game, he played 50% in his first game. We didn't see any of that with D-Law, and still haven't seen it. So it's just one of those things.
D-Law is one of those contracts that we haven't touched, right?
Right.
In a little bit, yeah.
We haven't touched it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah, no, I agree with 94's. That's the same point I made about maybe it's just he hasn't had a chance because he hasn't been on a Quinn set one game. But I'm also with Marcus. That one game he played, he didn't do it then, and with whatchamacallit with Golston, he's done it his first game. So,
first game.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I'll give him the benefit of doubt and see what he does when he comes back. But I'm with Marcus. I think he needs if he doesn't play more than 60% of snaps, he's got to do more than just put his hand in the dirt from the left side. Because I'm sorry, I understand pressures are important. I really do. and I understand sacks ain't everything. I really do. But at some point, you got to get home sometimes. And I just, people will use D-Law's pressures and show you how he's up there with Mack, with Watt, with all the great pass rushers. He's up there in pressures. But my thing is, I ask people, if he's up there in pressures and y'all bragging about his pressures, and he's up there with the best, them guys get sacks too. Why ain't he getting home?
Yep.
That is it just bad luck? And I always ask this as a serious question. Like, why isn't he getting home? Why is he getting all the pressures just like Chandler Jones, just like Watt, just like Aaron Donald, like all of them? But they're getting double-digit sacks on a consistent, 14, 15 on a consistent basis, and D-Law is not. Again, I don't give a shit about sacks. I understand sacks ain't everything. You can get 16 sacks, which would be one a game, and lead the league. I mean, think about that for a second. You could get a sack in the first quarter every game and don't do shit for the rest of the 3 quarters every game, and you can lead the league in sacks.
Yeah.
So sacks ain't easy. But with that said, if he's up there with pressures with all them guys, why are they getting home and he's not? That's why, and it's a serious question, not a smart ass question. Nobody's ever been able to answer that, because eventually you got to get home sometimes. I mean, at some point you got to get home every once in a while, But I think that's what I've always said. But his run stopping ability, fucking off the charts. Like, I'll put his run stop ability up against anybody in the NFL as an edge rusher. He's that fucking good. With that said, he's paying $21 million to sack the quarterback, to get to the quarterback, not to stop the run. So there's that. Like I said, that's not a D-Law. I'm not a D-Law hater. I like D-Law. I'm not so sure his cap hit next year is $27 million. I'm not so sure I want him on my team as a $27 million cap hit.
Yeah. Especially not the way the run defense has been playing now, but yeah.
You're not my real dad, Gilmore. You can't tell me what to do.
All right, guys. We've talked about quite a bit. Anything else we need to touch base on?
Nah. Pretty much we covered the defense against our offense against their defense. Yeah.
Let me throw a couple over-unders out of there before we
let's do
I like
that.
this game.
Okay, so we'll start with our defense first. And this is one I threw out there last week. We didn't get a sack last week. And you look at the Patriots, last week, the offensive line, they didn't give up a sack. So, over-under 1 sack for our defense this week. Guys in the comments, make sure you give me your thoughts as well. Over-under 1 sack for our defense.
I got to go over, can I? I have to go over, don't I? But,
okay.
I mean,
yeah.
They didn't give up none last week. I mean, but I have to go over. I have to think. Yeah, I'll go over.
All right, how much over do you go? Mendoza says 3.
That's I was going to say 2.5. I was going to cheat like Eric and put a half on shit. 2.5.
At least you didn't say push.
Push, yeah. Poor Eric. I love him. I miss him.
Yeah, 3. I'm with the lunatic 3.
Okay.
We've got Gregory, Parsons, and Osa.
Okay.
I love Osa, man. Every time I could talk about Osa seriously for a whole 2 hours. I could do a show just completely about Osa. I love that guy.
Osa.
All right, so I talked about this a little bit with the tight end groupings that they have and how important it is to the offense. So over under 5 catches for their tight end, for one tight end. And I'm assuming it's Hunter Henry for everybody. Over under 5 catches, Hunter Henry.
I'm going to push.
Okay.
Say right on 5.
I'm going to go over because I think we'll have the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there'll be pass a lot in the fucking second half, in the fourth quarter. Because I think a lot of teams just get a lot of points, a lot of fucking reception shit on us in the fourth quarter, just from us just mollywopping them.
Yeah.
And they're having to play catch up. I'll go over. But it won't be a bad thing. I'm not saying we suck at covering time. It's just, I think it's just how the game will work out. He'll get more than 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And plus, they ain't got shit else. So
Yep, that's true. That's true. So I talked about the running back position and catching the ball out of the backfield. Over under 4 catches for a running back.
we got to go over on that, huh? Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So got 2 more for the offense. We know they probably have to try to run the ball at some point. They got the big bruising back end. We just talked about him, Ramondre Stevenson. Over under 60 yards rushing for their running back.
Just one run back or the running game?
I would probably lean towards running back because when I watch the Patriots, they don't do a lot of switching in terms of running the ball. It's usually this guy's our runner, and this guy's our pass catcher.
I'll go under then.
It's usually not both.
I'll go under.
Okay.
Under. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see we got a couple of people saying over. All right, last one. So we talk about Mac Jones and how well his percentage of completion has been. Over under 60% passing against our defense.
Over, but not by too much. Somewhere between 60 and 65.
Okay.
He's going to come in under what his average has been so far, but I don't think he's going to have a really super bad game. Yeah.
What about you, Charlie?
Over
I'll
60, under 65.
I'll go over. I don't really worry about pass percentage. I think they'll probably throw a lot of little dump offs. I think he'll be up there. Because I'll go over. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Before I do some for our offense, let me touch on William Coulter real quick, asking about special teams. The Patriots have arguably one of the best special teamers of all time in Matthew Slater.
His daddy was good too.
If you guys think CJ Goodwin is a great special teamer, go watch Matthew Slater. His football intelligence is off the charts in some of the stuff he does. And he's a very aggressive player for his size too. He's always making big plays on their special teams. Kyle Duggar, I love him as a special teamer as well. They have a backup, Adrian Phillips. They play him a lot on defense because they like Kyle Duggar so much on special teams. That's another guy you got to watch out for. And their punt returner is pretty good also. He's like their number 6 receiver, number 7 receiver. I can't even think of his name. I can't pronounce his name. It's like Gunner or something. He has a great name for a special team.
It's Gunner, yeah.
Yeah. But that kid has something. And he's a tough runner. Kind of reminds me of what Danny Amendola used to look like when he used to punt return. Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman, one of those little short, physical, tough white kids that's always gonna kind of step up and just be a spark on your special teams. So those are the kind of 3 or 4 guys you kind of have to look out for. I think they do their damage more on punt and punt return than they do on kickoff and kickoff return. But yeah.
Mark has a 5-minute marathon on the special teams. I fucking love it. I love when he talks special teams.
Yeah.
Just kick back and listen.
Speaking of the New England special teams right now, their kicker is accounting for exactly 50% of their points scored so far this season. They are at 96 points total, and he has kicked 15 field goals for a total of 48 points.
Their kicker's Nick Folk, right?
Yeah.
Did they put him on IR?
I know he was hurt.
Okay. He was questionable. But the last report that I got with the left knee, the last report that I got though was Friday, so that I have to wait till tomorrow and see what the status is on him.
Yeah, I could have sworn I heard that kicker got put on IR. So maybe I'm wrong.
I just want to remind everyone the 2 games that they've won, fucking New England was against the Jets, and who else did they beat? Houston.
And barely beat Houston.
Yeah, so Like I said, that doesn't mean we're going to beat them.
Yeah.
That doesn't automatically say, hey, we got this game easy. Like I said, I don't have a problem with fans saying that. People's like, because I hate fans who say, hey, what? This is the worst thing I hate when fans tell me. Like if I'm looking ahead of somebody talking about the game 2 weeks from now, they're like, hey, one game at a time, buddy. Like, hey, fuck you, man. I ain't got to worry about one game at a time. That's for the players. I could look at fucking 6 games ahead. Who gives a shit? You know? But yeah, I mean, as long as the players are looking at one game at a time, that's all I give a shit about. I want to look 3 games ahead. I'm going to look at 3 games ahead. Yep. I don't need to worry about one game at a time.
Yeah,
like
I think Davis Mills put up 350 and 3 touchdowns against them last week.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, that's why everybody on all the major network shit. That's what they're saying. If they gave that up to Davis Mills, what the fuck is Dak going to do to him?
Yeah,
if you can do that, if he does that against him, Dak would destroy him.
Yeah,
I'm curious what our game plan is going to be. I'm excited every weekend, but I'm curious how we're going. I guess I'm curious what fucking Belichick's going to do.
And I think that was Mills' first game over 100 yards passing too, if I'm not mistaken.
If he had over 100 yards any other game, it wasn't about much.
Yeah, so that's really not good for their defense.
You got any more over-unders?
Offense up really quick. We just talked about Davis Mills hitting them for 350, 3 tubs. 350. So over under Dak 350.
Oh shit, Marcus. God damn it. I'm gonna have to go under. That's a lot. And I just think we're going to fucking be ahead. And I think we'll run the ball a lot in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I'll have to go under on that. And you know me, I'm a pass happy motherfucker, but I'll go under because I just think we'll get the lead to where our run game will just start dominating and we can just chill out and run the clock out.
Okay, we got Jack Mika going over. Everybody else kind of going under because we're going to run the ball.
Well, don't get me wrong. I would love for him to go over because I'm a pass happy fucker. But I think when he gets around 280, 290, the game's going to be wrapped up. He might go over 300 like he did last game.
Yeah,
but I don't 350. That's a lot. So, but you never know. What is it? 420. There you go, 420.
All right, so speaking of the running game, everybody kind of brought that up why Dak won't go over. So Zeke's been on a bit of a roll lately with 100-yard rushing games. So over under Zeke, 85 yards rushing.
I'm going to do this shit. Go ahead, Rocket. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Over on Zeke.
Okay.
I'm going to do this shit one more fucking time, and the defense better step up in the game and get him the fuck off the field so I can be right. I'm going over on fucking Zeke and fucking Pollard.
Both of them over 85.
Yeah, well, see, this should be easy because last week was Rock asked for 100, and I said, yes, they'll both go over 100. And if my fucking defense would have stopped in that last drive, not wasted all that damn clock, he would probably got over 100, but I didn't quite get there. But yeah, both over 85. I think they'll both have over 85.
Okay. Yeah, the Lunatic's right there with you.
I think they'll both have over 100 yards in the game, but I think Pollard will be a little bit of passing yards. He may come a little under 100 in the once again in that 80 to 90 range, and then he'll have some passing yards that are going to take him up over 100. Zeke will hit over 100 on the ground.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this.
Be very similar to last week. Very similar. Maybe not quite as many passing yards as we had.
Y'all get irritated with they do this shit all the time. It's not just to the Cowboys. It's every team, all kind of like little stats like that. They were 5-0 the last time the Cowboys. And I'm like, really? Yep. Like, what the fuck does that make any? I mean, first of all, let's just be. Tom Brady's no longer there, so why would we even count them 5 games? You know, and Dak wasn't there the whole time, which we had Romo. I mean, Romo was there, you know, but still, it's just like Jesus, man. That's a whole different. I don't know. I don't ever pay attention. Like that has zero to do. Like if this is the same team, Tom Brady was still there, I would still say that doesn't matter. But I get it.
Right.
But I mean, that team is not nowhere near what it was 2 years ago. So that 5-0 shit, that's
teams
totally off
that
topic.
Are completely
different.
reinvented from the last time they saw each other.
Yeah. And especially the first time they faced each other in that 5 game. I mean, that was way back, you know, because they only see each other once every 4 years. So I mean, we're talking, you know, shit, that's a long time ago. The last for that 5-0 record even start.
Yeah.
So I just it's off topic. I just
mean,
know it irritates the shit out.
If it was Washington or the Eagles, somebody we play a lot, okay,
I get that. Yeah, that I do get. Yeah, and especially them because we always have a good record against them.
Right, exactly.
So it looks good.
I don't mind talking about a player, their stats historically, if you wanted to talk about the weather on Sunday and then look back and look at Dak in the rain and talk about his completion percentage in wet weather versus dry weather, things like that. But when you're talking whole teams, especially these two teams who our defense is close to 80% different than what it was last year. The New England offense is a whole new offense. We're talking about a new coaching staff for Dallas since the last time that we saw New England. It's just not even, when you go team for team, there's nothing really there to compare.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, that 5-game winning streak dates back to 2003 when we had Quincy fucking Carter as our quarterback. Go to Dallas Cowboys. Then we faced him again in 2007 with Romo, and that's the year they went undefeated. We faced him again in 2011. Then again in 2015 when again Romo was out. I actually was in a coma. That's kind of weird. I just saw that. I was in a coma during that game. I wasn't even up for that game. They had done induced a coma on me. And then we did it in 2019. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, that shit dates back to Quincy Carter. I'm not going on the fucking records with anybody on the fucking Quincy Carter on my fucking team.
Yeah. I got one more.
That was a good game. It was 13-10. We almost beat them. I think it was 13-10, 16-13, something. It was a close game. Oh, shit, I had the score right there. Why not look at it?
No Brady plus no Gronk equals Pat suck.
I'm
Somebody
sorry.
on Twitter asked
12-0. I was way off. Yeah. But it was still a low scoring game.
Yeah, somebody on Twitter asked, who is your favorite NFL player that is not on your favorite NFL team? How do you not love Rob Gronkowski? How do you just not love Gronk?
Yeah.
He's freaking hilarious. He is the stupidest asshole I've ever seen in my life, and I crack up every time I see him. I love that guy. He keeps me in stitches.
Yeah, I go.
God, he's an idiot.
I go Brady. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Outside the Cowboys.
Yeah. Charlie's picking somebody for their football skills. I'm picking Gronkowski because he makes me laugh.
I'm picking because he's a beautiful man and his jaw structure.
His wife helps too.
What's that?
I said his wife helps him look better too.
Yeah.
I knew Mendoza go Florida State guy.
Darren James, yeah. Whatever.
All right, I got one more over under, guys, and then we can get out of here. Surprisingly, well, I don't know how surprisingly, our leading receiver is not Lamb. It's
Schultz,
not
baby.
It's not Gallup. It's Dalton Schultz with 26 catches on the year. And when I saw that, I was surprised by it, and I went and looked. He has 6 catches every game this year except one. It's 6'2", 666. So, over under Dalton Schultz, 5 catches this week.
Gotta go over. Gotta go with the stats.
Over.
Yeah, I'll go over.
Yeah.
Maybe that's who Bill takes away.
Yeah, somebody said that early in the comments.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I got to go back way up high. Who said that? I want to give him credit for it. It was like one of the first 10 comments, I believe. I'm sure it was probably the lunatic because he's been the one putting comments nonstop.
My hooker.
You know, somebody did say that. I think when I asked the question about who do we take away, what does Bill try to take away?
Yeah, yeah. The lunatic asked about the bread and butter.
Yep, you're exactly right. That's when it happened. All right, did the people in the comments put a question? Okay, over. Mendoza says over. Somebody said a dozen.
A dozen.
Steve White.
Schultz has become one of the favorite targets.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. I mean, I'm not going to say that's out of the question. I mean, with double what he had, but yeah. You can have one of them games. But yeah, no, I say over on that. It's kind of I think Schultz is becoming to Dak what Witten was to Romo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just kind of his little safety blanket, his little
Yeah.
Steven is drunk.
Yeah. I mean, Schultz becoming to Dak what Witten was to Roma. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So
The lunatic joined in on the fun, asking about 80 yards.
Will Coop and Lamb get 80 plus yards? I think one will. I don't know if both will, but I believe one will. I don't know, man. You know, you used to be able to easy predict this kind of shit because you knew exactly what our fucking game plan was going to be.
Uh-huh.
You know, now it's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, hell, we might go in there and run the ball 50 fucking times.
Yeah.
And them fuckers only get 2 or 3 targets. You know, or they might come in there and just throw the shit out of it. So, yeah. But, yeah, I would say one, but not both. But no, it wouldn't surprise me both. I mean, hell, they're fucking Coop and Lamb. If they both got over 80 yards, it shouldn't shock anybody.
Yep. I have a lot of respect for J.C. Jackson, their cornerback. Whoever, if he's guarding somebody man to man, he's not getting 80 yards. That's how much respect I have for that guy. That guy can cover, and he's one of the most underrated corners in the league. I thought he was better than Gilmore.
Does he follow?
What's that?
Does he follow? Have you paid attention to that?
He does follow. Yeah,
he does follow. Okay,
he does.
He'll probably follow Coop then.
Yeah.
But then maybe Lamb would get over 80. Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah. And on the opposite end of that spectrum, that if JC follows one guy, the other guy gets the Green Goblin, Jalen Mills, that we all know from Philly.
Oh, yeah.
They play him at cornerback.
Lamb would tear his ass up.
Oh yeah.
Lamb would eat him a fucking alive.
Whoever is going to eat him alive.
Yeah. I'm about to say, hell, it could be Cedric Wilson. He'll eat him alive. Yeah. Well, or Brown or fucking hell, whoever.
Yep.
Jalen Mills. I forgot he played for them. You know.
Yep.
JC is nice.
That's pretty much all I got. You guys got anything else? Are we doing game predictions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, people in the comments started doing them an hour ago.
All right, let me think about this for a minute.
Anybody want to go first? Want to hop in?
You thinking, Rocket? Does it hurt?
Shut up, Charlie. I'm thinking.
This one is a hard game for me. Because you just like you've been saying the whole show, Charlie, you just don't know what Bill Belichick is going to come out with and how it's going to affect this team.
I'm going to go with mine. I got 38 Cowboys, 27 the Patriots.
Uh-huh.
And I know people's like 27. I think they'll get some, garbage time, 10 to 13 points in garbage time. I think by the time we get it handled, I think they'll be around 17 points. And I think they can pull out another 10 points, just in garbage time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 38-27 Cowboys. That's what I have.
Okay.
41-26 Cowboys.
Ooh, I could go on 40 booger.
All right.
40 booger.
And I see Mendoza tried to get one in on me before the show ended.
What do you do?
I know who Joe Williams is. He's the 6'3" corner from Vanderbilt. I watched him a lot in college, and I know he was with the Patriots. So
good old Mendoza. Good old Mendoza.
Joe Williams. So I'm kind of leaning with you guys. I'm thinking 38-20. I think we I don't know what Belichick's going to throw at us, but just looking at the matchups, I just don't see how they can stop us from coaching all the way down. So I think we hit them early, and I think they just try to slow the game down and try to stop us from killing them instead of trying to come back. So I don't think it's going to be a lot of garbage stats like we normally see. I think we get in Matt Jones' head, and they just try to get out of there without getting embarrassed. Mm-hmm. So 38-20.
That's a solid score. That's pretty close to mine. I got one more touchdown out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I think, like I said all game, nothing's going to surprise me though because I don't know I mean, hell, dude, this whole season I haven't known. This has like been an I don't know fucking season. Like going back in the off season, the guys we drafted, what kind of defense was it going? 3-4, 4-3, 3-4, 4-3 principles, 4-3 with 3-4. I mean, everybody was guessing. I'm like, fuck, I don't know. You know, I don't even think the coaches know yet. You know, and it's just I never can't. Everything this year is just like I'm more stumped this year than I've ever been. You know, usually I have a solid. All right, this is what's going to happen. Now I just guys like, hey, I think this is what's going to happen, but I'm not going to climb on the hill and swear this is what's going to happen. You know, it's been one of the years where I just kind of shrugged my shoulders like, but this is what I think. If I'm wrong, you know, there's a good chance I'll be wrong on a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
You know, but I like this kind of years, you know.
I mean, unless it's one of the years where we're kicking the fuck out of everybody, you know, and I can just bring we're going to kick the shit out of them and it happens. Them was good years in the 90s, dude. God, it was fucking great back then. It was so fucking good to walk around as a fucking young adult and just tell everybody to fucking go suck a dick. You know, and they couldn't do shit about it. You know, I'm wearing my cowboy hat and my fucking championship fucking shirt, walking to bars, drinking a beer. It's like, fuck you. And they just had to sit there and just take it. Everything I say, you know, okay, you're right. You know?
Oh my gosh.
Nobody talked shit to me back then. Nobody talked shit to Cowboy fans during the 90s. They wasn't shit because they looked so stupid. They'd be like, hey, you know what, bud? And you just look at me like, yeah, okay, you're right. You know, she's like, fucking don't even talk to me, dipshit. Take the shit out of everybody. San Francisco fans, which there was a lot in the Houston area, there was only ones that could really match you on, you know, kind of talking shit. But hell, I never ran into a 49er fan back then. You know, not living in Houston. It was all older fans. And them fuckers damn sure didn't say anything to me. And, you know, you have some Pittsburgh fans and shit like that. But it was great. It was great fucking times, dude. Just being able to walk around and knowing that you was on top. And, you know, like how you feel after a win. Imagine this. People who didn't get to witness this shit or was young and don't really actually remember. Imagine this 4-game winning streak. How proud you are. And you just walking around like, dude, that's fucking how you felt at the end of the year, and like for 6 fucking months. Like you just the whole summer is like, fuck it. You didn't even worry about the next year. You're like, yeah, we'll be back next year. It was so fucking wonderful, man. There wasn't no nervousness and you know, like, oh man, what are we going to do about this? No, we're going to fucking kick the shit out of everybody. That's what we're going to do. You know, it was just it was a great time. I mean, it was just so fucking awesome. I'm fucking about to cry. Fucking missed them days. But yeah, no, it was great, man. It was, you know, it's hard to do that now. You know, Patriots did it. That's why I'm so impressed with them. But like Kansas City, as great as they are, you know, they went to one and lost one. And hell, this year, fuck, they might not even get back to one. That's so it'd be hard to ever go on a run like that. But I'm just letting y'all know if you win it as an adult, you're going to have it's a great high just to walk around everywhere to a bar, a restaurant, wearing your shit, and everybody. You know, sometimes you go to a bar or restaurant, Cowboys suck. You know, you still might get a little bit of that, but for the most part, people shut the fuck up and don't say anything to you.
Yep.
It's great. It was a great times. I talk so much shit, man. You know how much shit I talk right now, and we're not even that fucking good.
Right.
Imagine how much as an 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old kid.
Oh, God.
Dude, I just talk mad shit to everybody. I mean, just like fucking railroaded them. Talk shit about their mama, you know, and fucking how sorry she was. I mean, everything. I went off on people all the time. Lucky I didn't get fucking killed sometimes. It was great times, though. Thank you for all joining us tonight. Great show and great comments. I agree 100%.
Yeah, definitely. One more note for you guys to pay attention to tomorrow. They got a celebrity on the sidelines in New England. Cowboy Dale is their defensive coordinator.
Oh, yes.
Go check out Steve Belichick during the game.
He making them faces up.
Oh, my God.
I didn't even think about that. That is Cowboy Dale, dude.
It's the first time I saw him, I was like, that's Cowboy Dale.
I didn't even think about that. The mullet and everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, but Cowboy Dale's more hot, though.
Maybe Belichick can start wearing the cutoff shirts like his dad.
Yeah, that dude, he looked like he's wired up on fucking cocaine half the time. His eyeballs all sticking out, and he's doing his jaw because that's, you know,
Yeah.
Not that I know this, but your jaw starts
Right. You
fucking
don't know from
moving.
experience, Charlie.
Yeah, I don't know from experience. This is what I was told. And his jaw is all.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly that's what happens when you're on cocaine. But yeah, he always looked like he's wired up on fucking coke to me. Like, yeah, damn dude, go get another bump at halftime. One of he's like Hollywood Henderson, keeps that shit inside his pants and bumps it through the game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But anyways, thank y'all for joining us. Marcus, you want to tell them where you can find you?
All right, guys. You can find me Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Love City Cowboys. I'm co-host of the Cowboys Zone. We are every Wednesday night, 8:30 Central Standard Time. You guys get a chance, check us out. Go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and follow me on Twitter at Bluff Cowboys.
Hit that bell. Go ahead, Rika.
All right, my name is Rika. I'm the author of Rika Moves the Chains blog. You can find me at rikamovesthechains.com. I'm on Twitter at Chains Moving, and on Facebook, first name Rika Moves, last name The Chains. And you can find me next Wednesday night right here on Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. I'll be live at 7 o'clock on the Rika Moves the Chains show.
You want to tell anybody who your guest's going to be, anything? Or
you know what?
This week?
I do have a guest this week, but
you
I
want to
haven't.
verify it?
Yeah, let me verify it first. Let me just make sure he hasn't had a schedule change or anything. I haven't talked to him in a few days, so but I'll have an announcement out on Twitter pretty soon.
Well, we'll tell you, Marcus, behind the scenes. You'll know.
Does it rhyme with back hair, Scott?
Shit. That motherfucker was coming on the show, dude. I'd be a happy motherfucker. I wouldn't let Rika come on. I'd fucking cancel her out.
Watching the
Do
comments.
the shit by myself. I'd be like, hey, I'm Rika Moves the Chains. But yeah, no. Not about that. But you can find me, Dallas Cowboys Uncensored, everywhere. I guess I can go ahead and announce it in a way. Eric dropped out or bowed out. He had a job that took over, and he had to take care of his own shit. We all do this for a hobby. So, like Marcus can't always make on Saturdays because he owns his own little business. So this is all fun to us. And so when life shit takes over, we're going to pick life over this shit. And Eric chose that, which is, he knows he has an open invite. Hopefully one day he'll come back. That's up to him. He still drops in on us though in the chat shit. He's still in our chat too. I want to start doing 15-minute videos. I might go live every once in a while. I doubt I'll do it by myself because I don't think I could do it by myself. That's just how I feel. I don't know if I could do a whole show by myself. If I do go live, I might bring guests on, from time to time just to go live to keep our live shit open. But I'm going to start dropping 15-minute videos. That's why I'm in this room. I got set up. Because usually I had to set up all my shit, take 15 minutes, then I do a 15-minute video. I'd have to break it down. That wasn't worth my time. So I got in my son's room, found a place. I'm going to start doing it from in here. That way I ain't got to set up every time. Yeah. I'll still do this show on Saturdays. I'm still going to be with Rika on Wednesdays. And
and we'll be moving that after. After the bye, I will be moving to Tuesday. So you guys will want to make sure that you're subbed and that you've clicked that notification bell so you'll know whenever I move. I'll be on Tuesdays, probably at 7. I think I'm going to do 7. Let's stick with 7.
But yeah, I'll do 15-minute videos. I might do one tomorrow after tomorrow's game. I will do one like Twitter topics is something that's going on. I'll get on there and talk about something that's going on with Twitter. It'll be some rants most of the time.
Charlie's 15-minute F-bombs.
Yeah, because I can't do Twitter because I suck at Twitter. Y'all won't see me on Twitter much debate because I can't debate through typed out words with a limited amount of characters.
Right.
So I'll just come on here and give my opinion on here and tell everybody how much of a dipshit they are for saying what they say and how fucking right I am and how fucking wrong they are. And all the other stupid shit I say to people. But yeah, I'll do 15-minute videos, at least one a week, maybe 2 or 3. I talked to Space Cowboy today, asked him how he did it and got some tips from him. Yeah. So, because like I said, I'm going to be talking to a camera right here just like this for 15 minutes by myself. It will be fucking very weird for me to do. So I might take a few takes before I get one out.
Yeah.
Marcus is good at it. I've seen Marcus do shows by himself. And I mean, I don't know if I can.
I can't do the 15-minute thing. No, I done 2 of them my entire life. They took me 3 hours to do.
Well, see, I have a feeling that's going to happen to me too, Marcus. I have a feeling that I'm going to get on my rants. And I'm like 15 minutes. And I'm going to look at the clock, and I'm 45 minutes in, dropping F-bombs, telling people how fucking stupid they are. So I'm going to have to try to mentally keep it up and try to keep it in that 15-minute time frame. But we'll see how it goes. But anyways, check it out when I start dropping them. What the fuck are you laughing at? Check it out when I start dropping
You
them.
froze and it was just really funny. Okay.
Let's remove Micah from the fucking screen. Bye-bye, Rika.
No way. Put
I was wondering if he was going to be able to figure out.
in.
Well, I was going to wonder if you figured out how to get yourself back in. I was like, what if she knows she can get herself back in? But anyways, man, I had fun tonight. This is a blast.
That was a great
I love
show,
Marcus.
yeah.
I love Rika. We'll do this shit again Saturday. We always want y'all to have fun. We have fun. We don't want it to be too serious. So that's just what we do. Hopefully, y'all have fun doing it too.
Right.
And
2 hours and 10 minutes, and the views stay consistent. So
Yes.
thank all of you guys for sticking with us.
Stephen White, Will Coulter, the Lunatic, the Hooker podcast. I love you. MJ Gilmore,
Jack Meeker,
Mendoza, as always. Mendoza. Love that dude too. Dwayne Wright, Jack Meeker, which is another good one. Will Coulter. Just it goes on and off. I missed somebody. I'm sorry. There was a lot of y'all back up.
Tavis Banks was in the show quite a bit.
Yeah, Pat Campbell came in, my best friend for 35 years. Eric Berger, the old DCU co-host, he came in and supported us. Thank you to everybody. This is fun. This is most fun when y'all are involved and telling us what y'all want to talk about. That's what we've always said. We do it for y'all. We do it for us. We do it just for fans. We don't know everything. We don't try to think we know everything. So y'all know just as much as us. Only difference is we're behind a fucking camera. Other than that, that's it. And this ain't hard to do. It's time consuming and it takes us, jobs and shit like that. It makes it difficult. But as far as anybody in this chat could do it. So we ain't no smarter than anybody else. We just get in front of the camera and talk shit and do what we do and listen to y'all and take opinions from y'all. I'll learn from y'all too. Especially like people like the Lunatic and fucking Mendoza, always talking about fucking players, fucking 10th on the depth chart. I have no fucking clue who he's talking about, which is fucking amazing. That's not making fun of you. That's giving you a compliment. So yeah, we enjoy having y'all. So come back Saturday night. Come back Wednesday night, watch Bluff. Come back Wednesday night before that and watch Rika. And when I drop my 15-minute videos, come watch my fucking F-bombs. That's it. And we will see y'all in 1 week from today. Go Cowboys. Hopefully we'll win.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody.